Gonna say, just reel us in if we get too deep.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah,
Wow.
you know better. You know you can't.
You guys are too much.
Welcome to episode 6. It's 5 to 6.5. We got a special treat. We got a treat. We got like 3/4 of the Untitled podcast crew here. We got Casey O'Neill. Say hello.
What up? Hello.
We got loud ass Tyler Lee.
Yo, I'm pretty loud. What up?
And we got that no good son of a bitch Allie Mac.
How we doing?
And we're missing Dan. I just wish Dan would have came on too.
Dan's a little sleepy boy.
He wants to. He'll be here soon.
We're gonna have to.
Well,
have
not
him on.
tonight, but he'll be here on some point.
He's our only he's the only person that's admitted he's addicted to listening to our podcast. You know.
I listened to all 3 at a clip today, and gotta tell you, fantastic content, fantastic guests too. I really like the guest, and I'm happy to be within the royalty that you've had on.
The Howard Halls.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
No, honestly, we were discussing that though. It was just like, damn, we made the cut. This is pretty cool.
The only
You guys are unique because you're in your own little clique, you know.
The only royalty we had on was verbal judo black belt Mark Scholler. All right, and you guys will hear that when I finally release the 3.5 episode.
I can't wait. Everybody's talking about that one. I only listened to the one with Kervin and Dunham, but it was honestly a very, very good podcast. You're a good interviewer. You got a good knack for it.
I try. Well,
Also,
it's all
beautiful voice.
I always had a beautiful voice. That's the only thing I got going. I got you know.
You're listening to smooth jazz.
You're listening to Rock 11.7.
But Kyle, you really have a face for radio. I mean,
I do. I have the perfect face for radio. Well, so we talk about mental health with this podcast and stuff like that, but I think we get a little off the rails here. This is always a fun one, you know. We did it with Coleman and Scholler. So we got a little fun here. We get a little dark here, and we just kind of move on. You know, we'll see where it goes. See where the night leads us.
You got the right click for off the rails, that's for sure.
We'll try to behave ourselves.
That's Shane's only job is to reel me in. So now he's gonna reel you guys in too.
Well, he's had years of experience wrangling us specifically because he was our supervisor.
Attempting to wrangle us in.
No, you guys are all good. You policed
good
yourself
boys.
pretty well.
Well, you know.
Sometimes.
You leave the prison to run by the inmates, you know, it just kind of turns into that.
No, what it was, they would do crazy shit, and I would just keep them in check.
Yeah, sure you would, Casey.
Yeah, that's nonsense.
Father Casey.
Listen, I remember when Casey fucking got hired, I didn't realize we were like the same age. Dude, I thought he was like fucking, you know, at least 48 years old.
Wait, you're not 48?
No. I'm 58.
Yeah, like the first time I met him, because Casey was my preceptor in 2017 when I started there. I thought that he was in his mid 30s when I met him, and he's not.
So
It's the hair.
He's young at heart.
Oh, yeah.
He's a beautiful boy.
I think me and Casey are the only ones not on the job now still. Like,
Yeah.
Are you still working?
Yeah.
I'm still working, you know, doing the Lord's work, as I say.
Yeah, and then I'm a baby medic. I'm just about to go online. God, I don't know how many incorrect decisions I had to make in my life to get to where I'm at now, but yeah, come towards the end of December, I'll be online. So
incredible.
That's scary.
A little baby guy.
Are you nervous about that or what?
I don't think so. I think,
Well,
I mean, I've been a fucking EMT for like 7.5 years now. I should be able to. I should be all right. I know exactly, and I'm like I said, I'm pretty sure I'm the most green of anyone you've had on up to this point. But
Have you
I
met
don't know if
anybody
that's
yet?
saying much. Not that I think, but I was pretty stupid when I was starting, so probably.
You'll get there. You'll get there.
I
Don't
think
worry.
we were all stupid when we started. Like I remember I was freshly 19 when I started Mohawk, and that was a weird time. That was definitely a weird time.
I was 18 when I started.
Same.
I was not ready. I was like 18 years old, and I just found out, like, you mean all these guys could buy me alcohol?
And they will.
And
Allegedly.
they
Allegedly.
did,
They will.
Allegedly.
allegedly.
Not to drop any names, but
Yeah. It was definitely an interesting thing starting, like, because I remember I went to EMT school like right out of high school, and then I ended up getting my card in like April of 17, because I graduated in 16, but I got my card in April of 17, and then I applied at several places, and Mohawk was the first place to say yes, so that's why I ended up there.
Go figure.
But I volunteered for a little bit, and then I ended up at Mohawk at 19, and I had no idea what I was getting into.
Thank you for your service.
Yeah, TYFYS. But yeah, like, especially starting 19 years old, your brain's not fully developed. It's barely fully developed now for me at, like, 26. Um, so yeah, I mean, you said you started at 18, right?
oh yeah, I started right at 18.
So
You have a
you
brain?
got this, yeah, barely a brain at 18, right?
I still don't have
I
it.
was.
I'm still waiting for mine to grow, but
Yeah, somebody told me to develop, but I think I hindered mine. A couple substances here and there every now and again.
they say the same about your penis too. But
Yeah, that's exactly. I was just talking to my ma on the phone
about your penis.
Well, and she listens to all the episodes. I was talking to my mom, and my dad's in the background. He goes, "When are you gonna put out part 2? Are you and Coleman?" And I was like, "Well, why?" He's like, "Well, I want to find out about the rest of the dick pics you've sent out."
No, you don't. Oh, Scotty.
Oh, well, Scotty too hottie.
I can't imagine if my parents listened to our podcast. That would crash and burn real quick. I hope nobody ever listens to our podcast. 90 episodes deep, and thank God it hasn't caught on yet. I hope it never
Listen
does.
to our podcast.
No, listen
If
to
you
the
like,
Untitled podcast.
I've never heard it. I gotta listen.
Shane, you gotta
terrible.
well, listen to the
Politics,
episode I was just on. I was
conspiracies.
so banged up.
It's awful. I love it.
I forgot Casey said that they record on Thursdays, and I just got like real banged up, like doing something. I don't know what I was just like playing video games, and I was like, "Oh, shit, Casey, you guys recording?" He's like, "Yeah, recording right now." I was like, "Oh fuck, I'll call in." I'm like fucking 8 beers deep, and I just like went on a rant. I don't know what I was ranting about, but
I genuinely forget everything that I say every week when I leave.
Yeah, I
thing
gotta
it's recorded.
listen
You say
back
it again.
to it. I know it was funny as hell. It was good content, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I feel like
Gets
I
the
could just,
people
like,
going.
right?
It gets
I could
people
just-
going.
I
Yeah.
can let loose on that a little bit.
So
Oh shit! I mean,
Why'd you guys get an EMS?
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity.
I mean, what order do you want us to go in? Like we
You
how
can
about
start.
we go? I mean, I'll start. Well, I started in EMS because my grades weren't that great in high school. I really wasn't going to go well in college, and my options were either get a skill and do, like, a skill work, or join the United States military. And I vividly remember at Hudson Valley, because I was just going for gen eds at that point. There was a sign for the EMT course, and right next to it was like a posted thing with, like, like the papers that have like the numbers that you can tear off it type thing.
Right.
And it said there was one for the EMT course, and there was one for the United States Army. And I remember sitting there for a good like 10 minutes, and I'm like, the choice that I make here is going to be a pretty big choice that I make. And I'm like, well, if I fail the EMT course, I'll join the military. And I didn't. So I ended up staying in EMS, and it's been close, going on 8-9 years now.
Are you happy about that?
It's a job. It pays the bills. you know.
Right.
I like where I'm at now. I did not like the 5 years of insanity. Besides the people that I worked with, like where we used to work. Like working with Casey and Allie Mac and you and Shane, like doing all that, like that was fantastic. I loved the people that I worked with. Did not like doing the calls that we did though. That was
like
some crazy stuff.
the more people we talk to, and the more I get to do this little podcast thing.
We hear that time and time again.
Yeah, it's about the people. Like the people build the culture, and when we were in it, it's like you think the company needs to build a culture, and the company's the issue, but it's like shit, man. It really was the people that like built the culture and like got the thing going.
All right. Well, that's my origin story. I just sucked in high school. So.
Allie, Mac, you volley for a while, right? Wasn't that how you got into it? Were you super volley?
Wow, I'm surprised you know that, but
well, I know it because I remember
we know everything.
Some question. Well, yeah, me and Shane know everything. Listen, you guys think that the Hilltop Heroes don't find out? We find everything out. It's just we find everything out 3 or 4 months later, okay? And we do judge. And
when the pigeons finally get up there with the smoke signal.
I'll be like, you're telling me so-and-so slept with so-and-so? They're like, yeah, dude, that was 4 months ago. I was like, but still. Or we'd come down for some zone coverage or whatever. Or Sean and I would get some bed bugs and we had to go get uniforms. And then, like, we get to find out because we talk some Albany people. But, yeah, we did some things up there on the hill, okay?
That's actually how I got introduced to all you guys is on zone coverage.
Oh, but quick sidebar. That story of you and Sean and just sitting in your underwear on the couch had me dying. I was dying when I heard that. That was so funny. I had a mental picture in my brain of you two just sitting on the couch and like walking in on that would have been hysterical.
I still
my God.
To this day look at like young female EMTs and not think about that night when we walked out of the door and there was just like five quad fucking young female EMTs and they're just like jaws on the floor. They're like, what the fuck is like this fucking fat dude in underwear and this tall skinny guy that looks like he's a crackhead in underwear, like fucking what is going on? And it's just fucking hardship being like, welcome to EMS.
yeah. Sean is a borderline skeleton. I love him to death, but I don't know how. Like he eats like anything that he wants. I think
it all goes to his hog. It all goes to his hog. I'm telling you, the hog on him. Gee, he would put fucking Ron Jeremy to shame.
Nice cock, bro.
He does have a nice cock. Yeah, Christ, Shane, you're doing a great job. We're 13 minutes in. I'm already talking about cocks again.
Tyler, tell him about the time that Beavis,
to be fair, I started the
Beavis slipped you his cock.
I think we could get into that. I feel like we should wrap up the introductions, Casey. We haven't even gone yet.
Before we start into the
before we get into the
area.
Yeah, we'll talk about whose cock is the nicest. We'll compare girths. We'll get there. All right.
Well, we're never getting monetized.
I'm the caboose.
Never. But no, I definitely did start as like a jolly volley whacker at a firehouse, and then I ended up on a cardiac arrest call because we had like an echo list where like if you had a CPR card, you'd show up and then just make whoever like the ambulance was. They make their lives a living hell because then they need to deal with a bunch of firefighters who have never been at a cardiac arrest before. But I realized then I was like, all right, that's a dead body and it's not really affecting me. I might have a knack for this. So got an EMT card and then that are we name dropping agencies here now? I can't remember if we're past that.
The only person that didn't do it was Carvin because he was afraid he was going to get sued.
Carvin's a little bitch.
Fair enough. All right. Well, I fired off applications to a couple different places, and Mohawk was the first to answer. Same story as Tyler. So I bid on that application, and I liked it. I got to say I've gone through my bouts of burnout, but I'd say the fire's still burning for me. I still do enjoy the profession quite a bit.
God
It's
bless.
not. I wouldn't say I'm necessarily like I'm far from what I would consider to be a whacker. It's not like I'm excited and
Well,
giddy to go into a shift, but
you had a
like
tool
it's
belt, you had a fucking whacker
nah,
strap.
nah.
What
I
else
had a
did you
whacker.
carry
I had a
around?
whacker strap phase at Mohawk, and that burned out quick.
Well, we wore whacker
And
straps up on the hill, but we were actually heroes. So
oh
Yeah.
yeah,
There
no,
was so
you're
many
always
people
out there.
there that were just there to be whackers, like not even to be EMS. They were just fucking, just straight whackers.
Runkle.
yeah. I will say though,
I thought we weren't name calling.
What? It wasn't an insult. I'm just so fucking.
Yeah.
When I hear that fucking term, that's who I think of.
I can think of several people.
Oh my god.
I don't think any of these guys know who that is, though, Shane. I think it's just you and me.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
he's
I
I
probably
don't
gone.
know.
I think that
He'll
was
probably-
after. That was before
He'll
my
probably
time.
listen to this too.
He probably is. He's like,
We're
"Hey,
sorry,
fucking
Scott."
guy. I'm so
Give him-
happy. Well, it was a compliment. All right, Runks? Jeez.
well, shit, Casey, that leaves you. What's your origin story?
I think I just turned 20. I was like 19, turning 20. I just needed hours for. Thought I was gonna go to PA school. That didn't happen. So I applied to Mohawk.
Well, you got halfway there.
Yeah, you did get halfway
Yeah.
there. You know. You
Yeah,
think you're
well-
ever gonna go to PA school there, Casey? Like now
I
that
don't
you're,
think so.
you
No,
think
I
you're gonna
don't-
stick to?
I don't really. I'm very like burnt out as it is right now.
But you're an RN,
Figured.
right? You're an RN?
Yeah, yep. It's very. It's a very burning out job, I guess.
Right.
He's the
Well,
highest ranking fella out of all of us.
That
I'll
is
tell
true.
you, I'll tell you right now, Casey. In 12 years, when I start my own practice, I'll have a spot for you.
Hell yeah.
That'd be awesome.
All right, let's do a live
Hang
interview
on
right
until
now.
then.
So, Casey, what do you think you bring to the Franklin and Franklin Survived 6.5 Partners LLC, etc.
I think I bring wisdom. I bring
Sure. Oh wow.
IQ. I bring some empathy in there.
Oh, okay.
Some
Yeah.
autism.
I think
Casey-
everything that you just said was a lie.
The second question: What's your political?
Hey, Casey's
leanings,
29
Casey?
going on 45. He's got a lot of wisdom.
What's your
My political leanings.
Jesus
I've
Christ.
always
Stay
been
out
very,
of it. It's not your podcast, all right? Christ's sake, we can't go on political rants. Tyler's gonna be screaming pretty soon.
I played mediator last night. I can't do it 2 nights in a row. Please don't make me do it.
No, we talked a lot about.
actually, I have a bone to pick with you guys. All right.
Yeah.
As the biggest boxing fan and probably the most boxing experience out of all of these guys, you guys decided to have the fucking boxing conversation before I got on.
Hey, listen,
Oh, yeah.
listen.
I
I had some
Well,
boxing
yeah,
experience
Tyler's
too.
so yeah.
Yeah, but like, yeah, I these guys are goobers when it comes to anything boxing.
Right.
But I still think it was a rigged fight there. I think
Listen,
Mike
Iron
Tyson.
Mike was
Terrible
gassed.
fight.
Iron Mike was gassed. Anybody that's ever
He
gone
was
there, man,
gassed.
just understand
He
how
was
it
gassed,
funny.
but I do think there was some fixing going on
As
there.
soon as he started biting on the glove, it looked like the time he got beat up by Buster. All right.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
just
you're
said,
right.
all right, he's got no legs underneath him, the poor guy. And I actually commend Jake Paul for not beating the shit out of him. They just,
How old is
carrying
Mike
him to the
now?
fight. What was he? 50.
He's 58.
58.
Yeah, he's late 50s. That's what I was saying on the podcast, man. The people were freaking betting on Mike, and it's like, sure, he had his heyday, but like, dude, he's a fucking old man now. You
Well,
can't go out there and
There's
compete
one
with that
thing
anymore.
a boxer never loses is their punching power. The issue
Yeah.
is as you get older, you lose your legs and you lose your speed.
stamina.
You never lose the punching power. So
Mike never
obviously-
really had legs though. He always talked about how his feet were just brutal.
Well, he knocked
like-
everybody out in the first 2 rounds every time. But the
Yeah,
problem was
exactly, yeah.
And you look at his career; it was really good. He was good when he was with Cus Camano, and then he was with Kevin Rooney for a little bit after Cus died. But after that, he always had terrible corners. After he left Rooney, and it just showed again in that fight. It was like he's just an old man, and poor mentorship, poor leadership around him. But
I feel like he feels like almost like he's not like he doesn't have anything to give anymore, which he definitely does. But like, I feel like him personally, just by like how like his interviews and stuff, like he kind of feels like he's like a relic from a time past, and he doesn't want to be a relic. He wants to still kind of be in the conversation of things.
He's also a major piece of shit. I mean, go listen to Teddy Atlas talk about him. All right, the only reason why he has a career is because of Teddy Atlas, and he tried to rape Teddy Atlas's fucking what was it, his cousin or something?
Yeah, everybody forgets it. Like, he's like a convicted rapist.
He tried to rape Teddy Atlas's cousin. The only reason why Teddy Atlas was no longer involved with Cus Kamado was because Teddy tried to shoot Mike Tyson.
Oh,
so
shit.
did he go to prison for that, or was it something else that he went to prison for?
This was before Mike really blew up. This was when Mike was still young.
I think he was 13.
Yeah, he was really young at that time.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he tried to. I don't know. It's in Teddy Atlas's book, so I'm obviously paraphrasing here, but basically he tried to like I don't know if it was like a rape or like a bully over. I think it was Teddy's cousin or something like that, and like a young girl, and Teddy pulled a gun out and tried to shoot him. But Teddy Atlas is like this hardcore guy from like I think it was the Bronx or Queens, one of the two, and he just like he was always in trouble with the law, and then Cuss picked him up to train fighters. That's how he trained Kevin Rooney, and they wound up meeting Mike Tyson. Who was actually in the upstate New York. He was up in Saratoga.
Catskill, right?
Well, they found him in Saratoga. I think in like a some kind of unit up there, and then they brought him down to Catskill. That's where Cuss's gym is.
Yeah, is Cuss's gym still there? Because I think it could be
Yeah.
a real interesting place to go to.
Yeah, you could go down there, man. I mean, there's still people that train there. Obviously Cuss has passed away or whatnot. And
Yeah.
I think Teddy still goes there. I think Kevin Rooney's still around doing whatever. But yeah, it's still there. It's in the middle of nowhere. I mean, it was perfect because like Cuss would take these troubled kids off the street and just give them careers.
I mean, it was a noble act of him, but there's like picking up Mike Tyson, that like incident happening, like it's like you're gonna run into stuff like that, picking up like kids that are like troubled kids. Like it's kind of like you gotta figure out how to like to temper these kids because
he was a troubled kid through his whole life. Like, he had a
Yeah.
lot going on and abandonment issues and all sorts of shit like that. And unfortunately, the dice didn't roll out like great for him. I mean, they did because he made millions and whatnot. But at the start of his life,
Mike would have been a good EMT.
He would have been a fantastic EMT.
I think like the whole thing with like getting like on a sidebar here, like the whole like how like the inner cities like have like the drop the guns, pick up the gloves like initiative, like where they have like kids try to like settle
really
their
good with
beefs. Like settle their beefs in a boxing ring, which is like such a better way to do it. Like I feel like kids being able to like actively like get into a sanctioned fight against each other type thing instead of having it like happen in the street or happen with firearms. I really feel like being able to like get like that aggression out in a constructive way, in a way that is kind of like sanctioned and like has rules and has people there kind of like watching over it. Like it's like I feel like a lot of fights can be like not just like physical fights, but like just like arguments in general can be solved in a place like that. Like it's a safe place for them to like get that beef settled type shit.
Well,
Yeah, can't you do that without beating the shit out of each other?
Shut the fuck up, Casey. For Christ's sake, man.
I think we should do that in EMS. Like if you can fist fight the other crew, they lose, they have to take the transport.
I do. That'd be a great. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Look, as
wonderful.
a dispatcher, I'm concerned about shoot times. I need a rig on the air immediately.
Fuck your
okay.
shoot times, all right? Fuck your shoot times. Me and
I
Shane
was
are in
actually
a
going to
crew.
involve them too.
Casey and Tyler are in a crew.
We could sleep all night if we beat the shit out of the dispatcher.
Me and Tyler got to
Like King
square
of the
off
Hill.
in a 3-round bout, 2-minute rounds. Just figure out who's
we
going to do this take home.
Yeah.
Pull out the rigs, just set up a ring in there. Just,
You remember the time Hauser was like, pick a random number 1 to 10, and whoever gets it is going on. Whoever loses is going on this transport. It was like me and Tyler versus like Allie Mac and whoever.
No, it's you
like,
and me versus Tyler and Saunders, and we
and I'm
won.
like,
and
I'll just
freaking-
take it.
No, Hauser's still dinged us with it though. We
Yeah,
guessed
Yeah,
the
yeah.
number on the
He
And I
like
die.
completely ripped them off.
I actively was like, I love LDTs. Please give me every LDT. Like, there was like a time, like Allie Mac can attest to this. I would call either him or Hauser and be like, "Hey, do you got an LDT? Put me on like immediately." Like, I
Dude,
just
you would
want
call
to
me
go
at
on
like
an LDT.
5 p.m. I'd be like, I don't get into work for 2 more hours. I don't know what's on the board, man. Like, what are you
I'm like,
talking
please
about?
give me an LDT. But like, that's kind of like how, like, when I was at Mohawk, when I was burnt out, I got like kind of past the burnout by taking a shit ton of LDTs. Like, I
Yeah,
just wanted to get out of the city type thing, and
you
being
made
able to
you
get
made
out of the
my
city
job
for
easy.
getting out of the city for 6 hours, you get a transport down to New York City. It's probably like like you get back around midnight, 1 a.m. Like that's half your shift gone, and like you're back for like the tail end of the lower part of the night. We'll say like it's not like a quote unquote quiet the evil word part of the night, but like it's a lot lighter than 6 p.m. to like midnight when you get back. It's like
Yeah,
you get the lighter part of the night, which made it so much better and it made it so much more tolerable for me. I feel like
Shane and
Yeah,
I
I
have
was-
horror stories when it comes to fucking LDTs. All right, I don't want to hear it.
Well, do you want to talk about that one here?
Should we? Like, we were gonna wait for some dispatchers to get on, but yeah, I mean, we
It
could.
might never go. It's a good opportunity, but
Listen, one time, Shane and I were, what were we on? Hour like 34.
I don't know.
We
It
were
was
on like
definitely in
hour
20
34 of a 36. Or
no.
some shit.
It was fresh. We were fresh.
Were we the fresh crew?
Yeah.
All right, so right, so we're
'Cause
on a
we-
24 together. We get sent down.
It was a reverse.
Yeah, it was
Friday
a-
into Saturday, I think.
It was a reverse 24, and we get sent down relatively early, like 10, 11 o'clock. We get sent down to old Valhalla, right? And
where the Vikings live.
Well,
So-
on that, when I was in dispatch towards the end of my career, I called one of the stations. I said, "Where do Vikings go when they die?" And they're like,
That's
"What are
good
you
shit.
talking about? Like you're going to Valhalla?" Yeah, they
You're
didn't like
sending me where?
but we basically we drive this patient down. We go to the diner that's right around the corner, right?
State Line Diner.
And we get something to eat, and we're both exhausted, right? But we're on the reverse 24. And it's
So this
only
is like 1 a.m.
Yeah, and we still got like the rest of the shift to go. We get up to the truck stop, and Shane and I have been crushing hours, so we're both exhausted. And he's like, I'm tired. I gotta sleep. And I'm like, dude, I'm falling asleep. Like, we just did this fucking burn patient that asked me
Yeah.
for
So
morphine.
so
every
we'll,
20
we're
minutes.
like, well, we'll stop. We'll take like an hour nap, and then we'll
Right.
get something to eat. And this is during COVID, so you couldn't even go inside.
So we were gonna
So
like
we're eating in this nasty ambulance.
No, dude, it was 17, wasn't it?
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, it was 17.
We're in
but
17.
a semi-ambulance.
So,
Mini mod.
Shane
A mini
Shane
mod.
opens up the back. He gets in the back. He goes, "Well, I'm sleeping on the stretcher." Now I'm 6'2". I'm 6'2". I cannot sleep. I cannot sleep on the
6'2",
fucking.
what?
I cannot sleep on the seat, right? The little bench seat thing. So
You're
I'm
not
like,
6'2".
I go, what am I, Shane? What am I? You're
5'10".
5'4".
Yeah, I'm 6'2", solid muscle, bro.
So I'm very tall. I'm tall enough where I'm not gonna fit on the bench seat. I go, Shane, where am I gonna sleep? Shane's fat ass can obviously fit on the bench seat, no issue.
Well, I'm not
right?
gonna be uncomfortable.
So he takes the fucking stretcher. Now I have to put sheets down on the floor of the fucking dirty ambulance and a pillow, and I fall asleep on the ambulance. So you gotta think, this is like 2 or 3 in the morning, right? Sun hasn't
I
come up
think
yet.
it was early. It was like 1 or 2.
All right, so it's like 1 or 2 in the morning. We wake up, right? Shane
The
and I
sun's
both,
out.
We both wake up. The sun's out. I look at the clock, and now it's
It's
like
7:30.
6 or 7:30 in the morning. I'm like, oh, Shane, we slept
Oh
longer.
fuck!
We slept longer than an hour.
Well, I
So-
woke up to Garrett Johnson calling me.
Dude, it
Don't
was
wasn't.
the
even
day
get me
dispatcher.
started.
it wasn't 6:30 that morning. It was 6:30 the next morning. We slept an entire fucking day in the fucking truck stop in Jersey.
What?
Nobody noticed. We were there for fucking over 24 hours sleeping.
What the
And nobody
fuck?
noticed. Not a single fucking
way.
person. And
No
Garrett Johnson
way,
came in and
really?
goes, Why is 17? Not even the crew that was supposed to relieve us. Garrett Johnson came in and was like, why is 17 down in New Jersey? They're like, well, I don't know. No idea. Fuck, that's what they called Shane. What are you guys doing down there? Oh, we decided to take an hour nap. Well, it's Thursday. We're like, no, it's Tuesday. They're like,
It's
no,
25 hours, you
It's
fucking
Thursday.
assholes. Get back on the road.
What the
I don't
fuck?
think it was that long, but
It was pretty close to that. We were
I
there
think it
for
was like 8 hours.
it was longer than 8 hours. All right,
I
the
don't-
sun had gone up, gone down, and gone back up.
No.
I swear to God, because I had something to do that morning, and I completely missed it by a day.
This is like the Blair Witch Project.
It was at least 8 hours.
But
Why
anyway,
isn't the sun
the
coming
moral of
out?
the story here is that dispatch just
Regardless.
completely lost us. They lost an entire crew. we could have stepped out to take a piss at the fucking truck stop and got mugged.
Yeah, you
No,
could have got
killed.
murdered on the
'Cause
spot
I
right
think
there.
I think we got back like 1-ish maybe, and I laid down in the bed, and then the fucking pager goes off. I remember that. Guys, I
Did you
laid my
fellas
head.
get a? Did you
my
guys
head
get a
touched
talking
the
to
pillow.
about that?
No,
Who was going to talk
Really?
to us?
Yeah,
Who's
Nobody
gonna
ever
talk
said
to
a
us?
word.
It's not on them at that point. That's all on the dispatcher.
They fucking lost us.
I don't think anyone knows except me, Kyle, and Garrett.
That was really it. Yeah.
The other
They-
medics are probably losing their fucking minds right now. Like, where
Fuck
the
'em.
hell is that crew?
Fuck 'em,
Why are we
all
doing
right?
everything?
That's how the culture was back then. You want to know
Well,
how
I
the
think
culture
when-
was?
when
It
we
was-
got-
it was a
we got
fuck 'em
back-
culture.
I hit the pillow,
Yep.
the pager goes off, and I think we ran our balls off for the rest of the
Oh yeah,
12
we
hours.
did. We got our fucking dick kicked in.
Yeah.
When was this? You said this was during.
This
COVID?
had
This
to
had to be, yeah, this had to be 2020.
2020.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2020
All
was
right,
a
I'm glad.
wild
I'm glad
time.
it wasn't me. It
I went on
could've
a
been
LDT,
me.
No, I can tell
I
you
was
exactly
after
who the
that.
dispatcher
No,
was.
you
I'm
could-
just not
you
gonna name
could,
drop.
right.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not
But
gonna
you know
name
who
drop.
you know who it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I went on like LDT with Leroy. Shout out Leroy
Yo,
to
bro.
Vermont.
I
And
have
it was like
not
his
thought
last
about
day.
him in forever.
He's my
Yeah,
preceptor.
my man.
He was my preceptor when I started. Yeah.
It was his last day, so he was just taking his time, and he drove on the way back. He went 20 miles back from Bennington. It took like 3 hours. And-
It's a 40-minute
dispatch-
transport.
It was like an hour left in the shift, and dispatch is like, "I'm gonna need you to stop at Samaritan and take another transport." Leroy's like, "This is the
Scumbags.
last call of my entire career. These fucking scumbags."
Fucking dispatchers.
He
I
was
hate
fun to work with.
dispatchers. I'll tell you right now, I fucking hate every single one of them.
I was one.
Yeah, exactly. I hate you.
Yeah, me too.
Nah, I love dispatchers,
It's
man.
it's
I
easy to forget there's humans in those ambulances when you're watching numbers,
Right. Well, you got to clear the board.
I don't know, Shane. I feel like you were in the same seat that I was too, where it's like you knew most of the people that were in the field, and at least the time where I was in dispatch, I felt like I was friends with most of the people in the field. So it's like you did feel like shit, like sending people on LDTs, and if Tyler wasn't working and I didn't have anybody to send on an LDT, I felt like 3/4 of my job was playing fucking therapist. Like,
Oh,
you're
absolutely.
sending me to fucking Westchester, and it's like a 10-minute conversation about how shitty everything's going, and it's like, well, look, it wasn't my call. Fucking Shane said I had to send you,
Listen,
so
you're,
like,
you're lucky. You're
Oh,
lucky
you-
never-
you blame
here we
Shane.
go. The OC tonight. Yeah.
You're lucky
Oh, I
you
would
never
always,
had to
dude.
send
I would
me.
always push that blame on the OC. I would always do that. It'd be like, all right, here's the deal. This motherfucker took an LDT last night. I hate this motherfucker, so we should send them. Like, I'd paint a picture. Like, and I wouldn't be playing favorites. I worded that wrong, but it's like,
I would.
No, but
I don't know.
you know
It's
who
like a-
likes to go on trips or
Yeah.
whatnot.
and there was certain people that were just unfortunately like kind of untouchable with like the LDTs, where it's going to turn into a shit show of like, oh, my fucking back hurts, I need to go home. I can't sit down for that long. Like there was so many excuses would come flying out as soon as the word Westchester started getting thrown around. So you'd have to like work
that was
around
the easy
that.
one.
I
Yeah.
love
Dude.
Westchester. That was my favorite.
A running thing in this podcast that I've seen is everybody's back hurts. My back hurts.
Well, does your
I
back
agree.
hurt?
Yeah,
My back still
hurts.
hurts. Yeah, my back still hurts all the
Allie Mac
time.
was
hasn't
just
been
thinking, my
around
back
long
hurts
enough.
right now.
Allie Mac hasn't been around long enough. His back don't hurt yet.
I was actually gonna say I missed literally like the week I got hired was like the week Mohawk got rid of their last manual stretcher. So honestly,
Oh,
like
nice.
I mean I've tweaked my
Oh, must be
back, but
nice.
like
Must
I
be
don't live
nice.
in like chronic back pain.
I
It is
don't
pretty
even
nice
know.
actually.
I've only used the Reeves twice. Oh my god.
No,
Dude,
I use
It's
the
that
Reeves
it's
way
that
more times than
lower
I should
it's
have.
that lower creeping back pain that
Listen.
just doesn't go away.
There was a fireman. That he's retired now. And Shane knows. Casey probably knows him. But he would oftentimes tell you to put your Reeves on the stretcher and ask you to carry your stretcher up to the second floor.
Oh,
He
vaguely
would, take
remember
he
that.
would take the stretcher pad and put it in the Reeves.
Yeah.
I think I had multiple firefighters tell me to
Amanda
carry
had to
the
use
stretcher
to
up the stairs.
fucking fight him on the scene.
Dude, I would too. That's a
He's
fucking
like, no, I'm not
ridiculous
putting my
request to
fucking
make.
stretcher pad in the Reeves.
That's fucking insane.
I used to go to that shelter on that homeless shelter where they had the elevator. We had to put the stretcher in the elevator and then take it downstairs. You know that one?
Yeah.
Oh, the one on Central Side. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and so every
yeah.
time the firefighter was like, "Yeah, carry the stretcher downstairs." I'm like, "I can't carry the stretcher downstairs."
That's
So we put it in
unsafe.
the elevator, right? So the problem is you can get it in the elevator, but once it goes down, you can't get it back out. And
That's where
so I'm
TF
like,
lived.
so I have to explain this to the firefighter every single time I go to this place, and they don't fucking listen. So I'm like, all right, let's put it in the fucking elevator then. And they're like, ha 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 ha, it fits, and it goes downstairs, and they're like, try to get it out. They're like,
We
we
can't.
can't get it out.
That was
Speaking of funny
Sounds like I was
times,
right.
like moving people, Casey, like you want to tell that story of when me and you?
Oh
had
my god, that was the
stair
worst,
chair?
bro.
That
was
was
the
fucking
worst experience of my
hysterical.
life.
That was one of my favorite moments with you, Casey. So
Yeah, you started off.
So we get a call for what was it, like a seizure or something? Like just like a
Yeah,
standard,
seizure,
like a
syncopal episode, something.
yeah. So it was a syncopal episode after like post seizure, and it was a call in like one of the second floor apartments. So you're like, all right, we're gonna probably have to carry this person down. So we get up there, treat the patient, blah blah
No,
blah.
so she was essentially just having a panic attack, right?
Yeah. So she essentially was just having a panic attack and then having like the pseudo seizures. So Casey just goes, "Hey, can you get the stair chair?" And I'm like, "Okay." And then we get towards like the staircase, and we're like, we might probably want to get a lift assist just to be safe on this one. So we get a lift assist. I forgot who our dispatcher was, but he sends.
Oh, but what was the patient? The patient was like, 350 pounds.
Around that area, and like me and Casey probably could have done it, but it was just like it was like a tight enough area where you couldn't use the tracks on the.
I don't think I could have done it.
But
What did I say? 350 pounds.
But
she looked
that,
like
man. I'm never even attempting that.
what did she look like, Tyler? Precious?
Precious?
Yeah, it had. I shit you not. I forgot about that part. She was watching Precious on TV while we were doing everything too.
And you thought it was
And
a
I'm like-
biography?
Goddamn. So me and Casey are like, all right, let's wait. We'll wait for our lift assist to come. So I won't name drop here, but he sent probably two of the smallest dudes that we have in the entire
Can we
company.
just name drop?
No. I don't want to name drop these guys,
No.
but like probably the two smallest fellas that we had in our entire
Can
company.
we just name drop?
No, one was 5'2", and one was about my height, like 5'10", 5'11", but like rail thin. And
I'm almost sure who you're talking about, but
Yeah, so we lifted up the patient, and the smaller one was at the bottom of the staircase because only me and the
Oh,
taller
that's good.
guy were
It
at
was
the top.
Jay-Z's wife.
Oh my
So
god.
we did that,
Casey,
and
you can't fucking help yourself, can you?
Well, now it's out there. I mean, now that's out there.
I don't miss an opportunity to shit on him.
But so it was me and him at the top and Casey at the bottom, and then this patient decides to have a seizure right
Start
there,
freaking out. You
and
should
then
start freaking out.
flips the stair chair on its side, completely on its side, and I'm just like, oh fuck, man, and like she's on her side, like just freaking out, choking herself out with the straps on the stair chair, and I'm like,
Yeah, just
oh,
around her neck, just
fuck.
choking.
Yeah, I'm like, oh fuck, what do we do? And Casey's like, I think we should just cut the strap, man.
And I'm like, cut the
strap.
cut the fucking straps off the fucking.
So
thing.
we cut off the straps, and she kind of like did like a flop down on the stairs, and we kind of just like thunk, 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 thunk.
We literally dragged her down the stairs by her fucking legs.
Wow,
And
you
then-
guys were on your fucking Catskill shit today. Holy shit.
Oh my god. There it is.
So,
That's more or less a name drop. God
Yeah.
damn it.
but we had to do that. Like there
Why
was
didn't
no
you make
other
her
way.
walk like Catskill would?
No, but like the thing, like we tried, and then we're like, all right,
Sunflowers.
we'll get her on
She was
the reefs.
she was too
and get her
fat to
down.
walk down the stairs. I don't know how she got up there.
Yeah, but like it wasn't even that. It was just that she kept on like doing like this in and out thing where like we were trying our best, but then she flipped the stair chair over and there's no possible way to get her down. And it wasn't like we were banging her head on the thing, like we had somebody hold her head and they kind of like get her down. But like then we kind of got her on the reaves and get her on the stair chair.
Oh yeah, it was a private call. That's why there was no fire department because somebody.
Yeah, there
called
was
us
no fire
privately.
department at all, so it was just us. And we're like there's we tried like 3 different ways to get her down, and then all we had to do was just have somebody hold her head and then kind of just get her down each step, like we put her butt on each step, and then like step by step, like butt step, and then we got her onto the reeves and then put her onto the thing, and that was a whole fucking like chart that we had to write for that, and like incident report. But like
you know what's funny
Yeah.
about this story is I could like right now I could smell the house.
surprisingly, the
Dude,
house
that's
didn't smell
crazy.
bad.
You fucking can.
I thought we were like
You can,
fired.
right? You could smell it, right?
Yeah.
Fucking
But
all
surprisingly, the
all
house
apartment
was
with the-
fine.
With the
The
shit
house was, like,
Moldy
fine.
UTI.
You just like you get that. It's got a certain smell to it, and I just smelt it.
But like we were like we tried our best to do like that, like the best we could do was just get her like on like kind of semi sitting up like type thing, have somebody kind of holding her back up, and then let's like put her butt on each step and then go down. But like it's one of those things where you're like they're like option A failed with the stair chair, and it's like, all right, we have to get her out somehow, so we'll figure out something. And that's like kind of like the ingenuity of EMS, I feel like, is there too,
Shane,
Yeah, just
remember
fucking
that-
throw him down the stairs. Just perfect.
It wasn't
EMS
throwing her down the
improvisation.
stairs. It was we were using.
That's what
we
I'm
were,
talking about.
Shane, you
Path
remember
of
that-
least resistance.
You remember that take home of like the 700-pound patient we used to bring home from Samaritan?
Oh,
Obviously
no.
for HIPAA, I don't need to name drop this one, but
I had that patient.
you know, Casey,
I think
Shane,
so, yeah.
No, it doesn't ring a bell.
you know exactly what I'm talking about.
If you got a story, I'll listen to it.
So basically, this woman,
It might refresh my memory.
she had lost weight towards the end of like us bringing her home, but she would go home to downtown Troy. We'd take her home from Samaritan, and she always lived either on the 3rd floor or like the 9th floor when she moved to like one of those big like apartment buildings.
Yes.
And,
Okay.
yeah,
I got you.
Now you know. Yeah, she.
Yep.
So for dinner, she will boil a bunch of pasta, and like on Monday or whatever. And you know those big like pretzel jugs.
I must
plastic
have
pretzel
erased
jugs?
this out of my
Yeah.
memory.
She would fill that up with pasta and then sauce, and that would be her dinner every night. So she had like 7
like
of
the
them lined
like
up, and
full
she
blown
just-
like fill it to the top type
yes,
shit.
the plastic barrels that used to have pretzels in them. The Utz pretzels.
Remember how we like take things out of our mind, Kyle? I
Yeah.
just got like 7 memories that came right back when you said that.
She was just bulking. That's all she was doing.
Well,
Oh,
so
she,
like
she was bulking.
at this point in time, I think she was no less than like 700 pounds, and she was like, "You gotta." There's 4 steps to get into her apartment at that time, and she's like, "Yeah, you gotta stair chair me up." And I was like,
No.
I remember putting the stretcher down right in front of the steps. I said, "You're either gonna walk your fat ass up those steps and into your apartment, or we're gonna sit here all goddamn night until shift change. Like it's one or the other." And so I had to help her. Like I had to put my hands underneath her feet, and, like push her up the steps. But I was just like, God damn! Like it was just, it was baffling. It was baffling. Like you want me to destroy my fucking back and my body to pull you?
And she hated the fire department, so she'd call privately.
Yeah, she would never call the fire department.
Gotta love that.
Like coming down was okay. It was taking her home that was the issue. Because you're always going upstairs.
Yeah, going up the stairs on take homes was brutal. Like, there's no good way to get somebody up the stairs.
Well, the worst
like getting
would be
down the stairs is one thing, but like going up is a completely like other story.
I'd argue probably the Reeves is even the better way to go there. I've had more problems
to go up,
from
absolutely.
taking a stair chair up. It never works the way you want it to. Somebody's gonna wipe out.
You think the stair chair is gonna work, but it never. You're like,
well, the tracks are designed to go down.
Never.
Well, the guy,
you're catching your heels on the back of the thing or something. Yeah, it doesn't work.
He's trying to like do like fucking shoulder presses or fucking chest presses, like cleans. Well, like to push the patient up the stairs, while the guy on the top's just like merrily like trying to step, and he's swaying this chair back and forth, left and right. It's just like the fact that we never killed anybody with a stair chair is fucking.
But I feel like people would always say like the tracks only go down the stairs, right? But I always had people that were like, "Let's use the tracks and go up the stairs," and I'm just like,
doesn't work.
They only go one way. You're just like
That's
fighting
an old
the
wives'
resistance.
tale.
Yeah, they have resistance built into them. They're meant to only go down.
No, but if you turn the chair around, right, so that the feet are pointed upwards.
I feel like that's a nightmare.
Yeah, that's
like unsafe.
I never even want to test that theory.
I want to try it.
I can live to the end of my days.
I want to put Tyler in a stair chair and try to push him up backwards up the steps.
I mean, yeah, that'd be interesting. You know,
I want to see.
I'm about 200, so we'll.
Well, I think like you're probably the smallest out of all of us. Well, unless Casey like got a tapeworm.
Yeah.
Like I bounce from like 190 to 200. Like that's about average for me.
I gotta ask you, why a Matt Rempe jersey?
I fucking love Matt Rempe, dude.
Okay, all right.
What are you? Not a Rangers fan, or are you just not like Matt Rempe?
Oh, I'm not a Rangers fan. Tyler, I'm the biggest Rangers fan you've ever met. Like I bleed blue. So do
you like Matt Rempe?
No, I like Matt Rempe. This is not the jersey I'm gonna go for. He's gonna be gone in a year.
I mean, I already have a Panarin. I have a Panarin jersey. I have a Shesterkin jersey. I have a.
Have you heard about the Olympics in 1980? Because these guys won't shut the fuck up about it.
I love the Miracle on Ice.
Great year.
1980, 4-3. We beat the Russians. We beat the Soviets, guys. We ended the Cold War by winning the Olympics, dude. You know, it's a
for
beautiful
the record.
story.
It was not a gold medal game. It was not a gold medal game.
But we still won the gold medal. But like the important part was that we beat Russia. We beat Russia. And like, you know, Herb Brooks, I have a statue of Herb Brooks on my table right here.
I feel like we're getting off the rails. We're talking about the Olympics in 1980.
They might come back to Lake Placid in 2026, actually.
Dude, I would go to that.
Great moments are born from great opportunity.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. I'll get a little clap going on there.
That's what you've earned here tonight. One game. If we played
Tyler.
If we played him 10 times, we might win one. We might win 9.
Yep. In all honesty, I want to get off the topic of hockey because I'm a Sabres fan, and we're in dire straits just like we have been for 13 years. So.
Oh, that's my dad's favorite team. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a question for Tyler and everybody.
Okay.
Allie Mac, everyone. What's the most in danger you felt while on a call? EMS.
Well, getting a knife in my shoulder was probably the worst, but
danger. Like So
Like the most unsafe that you felt on a call.
Getting stabbed. That's probably it.
Dude,
Yeah,
see, I would say for us, it's pretty easy. It's the one that you and me are gonna go to court for. That one was pretty fucking crazy. That was like, oh yeah, this
I
thing's
was
clear.
on that scene too, but like I feel like because the cops had machine guns, I felt a little safer. You know?
Nah, man, I'm telling you, if you were in that building, they were fucking throwing chairs through windows. There was shell casings all over the ground, dude. That was by far the craziest. I just remember looking up. I was doing compressions, and I was just looking up at the firefighter across from me. I was looking at his face because he was looking at the catastrophe that was going on behind me.
Is this Vietnam? I haven't heard this story.
Waiting for it was a quintuple shooting.
There's actually a mass shooting. It's actually listed on the Wikipedia for mass shootings in the United States.
Yeah, it is. I forgot about that. But
how many people got shot?
I think 3, 4,
5.
6.
Nah,
6. Well, like
5. It was two of them.
Yeah.
Two of them were like, okay, so one was a straight up dead when we got there. That was who me and Casey had. We transported just because of how fucking hellish the scene was. But
and then
the
I
rest
transported the other one.
Primarily, yeah, there was 2 transports and then 3 walk-ins to Memorial. But yeah, but
I got one that was grazed. They got the worst one, and then there's another one on scene that I think RMA'd and then went to Memorial or some shit. Like,
yeah,
it was ridiculous.
Ours was the only one that was in the building. To my understanding, it sounds like it may have been a drive-by shooting, like through the glass windows in the front of this place. But it was I just remember looking at the firefighter's eyes because he was very clearly on edge as to like if we were gonna bug out or not. And we had PD there, but there wasn't enough of them. We were way outnumbered. It was just sketchy. I don't know who the fuck said EMS go in, but that was definitely the biggest adrenaline rush I got. It was probably the most fun call I've ever been on too. But it was fucking crazy. I remember when we were getting the patient into the ambulance afterwards, some guy turned a corner behind a building holding like one of those big like $15,000 news cameras, trying to get an action shot of what we were doing. And
and they were like, "Get the fuck out!" The firefighter was like, "Get the fuck out of here!" And
so
he pushes the camera down.
Yeah, the firefighter yelled that, and then a cop shoved them as hard as they could, and it put the guy flat on his ass, and you could hear the lens of that camera crack. Probably a multi-$1,000 lens on that camera crack. I mean, he was begging for it though. He turned the corner and he scared the shit out of us because again, the scene wasn't safe, like really at all. So he fucking turns the corner. You have no idea who this guy is. The cop just pushed him. And that motherfucker went down hard, but he was asking for it.
Oh yeah, and then I'm driving to the med, right? And I clear the fucking.
Forgot about that. Yeah, you got.
I'm going through I think it was a red light. I clear both ways, and then I go through it, and this fucking car comes out of nowhere, and it almost plows into me. So I hit the brakes as hard as I can, and Allie Mac gets sent to the next dimension.
Yeah, you sent me, the cop, and the 2 medics in the back all straight into the fucking doghouse immediately.
Yeah. We
Bro went to the shadow realm.
We almost rolled over on that call.
I just remember fires screaming up at you. They're like, "What the fuck was that?" You're like, "I got cut off." Oh man, I remember there was a fucking trainee in dispatch that we dropped.
Oh, you know what it was? I cleared both ways, and there was a car a little behind that was coming to a stop, but he didn't actually stop. He just fucking kept going, without just even though I was in that intersection, so I had to slam on the fucking brakes.
So for those of you who don't know Casey, you can't tell what emotion he's expounding at any point, because he always has the same demeanor. So he could literally be in the most stressful situation Casey's ever been in, and he'll still be like, "This is the most stressful situation I've ever been in."
Let me tell you, having been Casey's partner on countless arrests, that motherfucker performed his same job as he did on every other arrest I worked on him. He was standing calmly about 5 steps back, holding the IV bag. And he was that's his role.
I mean, I don't know. I think once you
Casey's here. You better spike the bag.
Spike the bag. Spike the bag immediately.
Spike the bag. The professionals here.
dude, I just think once you
Oh
go
my
on enough
God.
of these like arrests and you have to like do CPR on a human being, you just don't want to do it anymore.
Right.
Oh,
Like,
absolutely. You don't want to do CPR anymore. Like it, you're like the first couple times you're just like, wow, I'm being a hero, and then like by arrest 6, you're like, all right, now I my arms hurt. I don't want to do this right now. Type
Listen,
shit.
Kyle.
I don't know,
Yeah.
man. I never thought it was that big of a deal. Like it's
No,
it's
it
not
is.
even.
You're not doing good enough CPR, Allie Mac, you piece of shit.
Kyle,
I'll
every
have
time
you
we
know
went
when
to
I went to medic
every
school,
time
I
we
had
went
the
to the
best rated
Hilltown.
compressions.
Allie Mac, what about the fucking Russian roulette guy?
Well, hang on. What
Oh,
you say,
Big
Shane?
Dank.
Dang.
Big
Every
Dank.
time we went,
Yeah, let's
old Rick out in the Hilltown. You want me to spike a bag?
Oh yeah. I
Every
swear to
call.
God, it didn't
matter
matter
what.
what the call was. It didn't matter
Yeah,
what
you
the
want me to
call
spike
was.
a bag?
He would just be like, "Hey, you want me to spike a bag?" No, God, I don't even have an IV. What do you?
No, I'm turning over BLS. We're out of here.
A quick side note here: do you guys believe in like the superstition that if you spike a bag before you get the IV, is it gonna be a bad like you're gonna have a hard time getting the IV? Because I have like some medics that like told me that it's like bad juju to spike the bag before they actually get the IV.
You're either gonna get
I think it depends
you're either
on
gonna
how
get it
good
or
you
you're
are
gonna
at
drill 'em.
IVs.
I've never heard it.
You
I've
either
heard it
get-
from a couple
you
people.
literally either get the IV or you drill them. There's no like
Yeah.
it's if they need
No, for like a
access bad
standard
enough.
call, like a standard
Yeah.
like call, like they're
Well,
like
so listen, here's the rule, right? Here's the rule. If they don't need the IV, like if they're not sick enough to not get drilled, if you can't get an IV, then why are you doing the IV?
that's actually I don't disagree with that.
Like,
Right now,
there's
there's
so many
a shortage.
Yeah, there's no
Yeah,
need to be spiking a
like,
bag.
They can't. Well, no, but they can't do the blood work off the well. Like whatever. Like, what are you getting the IV for? Well, prophylactic because they're ALS. Well, what is ALS about them? Well, they're sick. Okay, what are you going to use the IV for? What if I got to push medication? What medication? Well, I'm not sure. Well, what the fuck are you doing an IV for?
Yeah, unless
For
you
me,
got
it just
plans.
as
If
as
can't
a
get
nurse,
this
it just
IV,
helps to
would
have
you
an IV.
drill the patient? No, I wouldn't drill them. It's too much pain. Why would I drill them? They don't need the IV. They don't need the access that bad. So don't do the fucking IV, hero.
Yeah.
Get in the front of the ambulance, turn it the fuck over BLS, and drive the cocksucker to the hospital. All right?
I don't know. It's just
want
like
to bring
as
up.
a nurse, like it's better to have a IV access to because most of these doctors just order blood work on everybody, so to just annoying when EMS doesn't put in an IV.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't do your job for you.
Yeah, it's okay. You guys only have one patient at a time, right?
I had to do an IV. I had to call the phlebotomist to do an IV.
No, we don't have no phlebotomy. We don't got that.
Casey,
man.
I want to hear you tell the story of Big Dank, and I can give my little aftershock, the story that I had afterwards from it. But I want to hear what your take on that.
I've
call
heard this
was.
story a shit ton. I'm gonna take a piss. I'll be back.
Okay, go for it.
So yeah, this kid, we got a call for a gunshot wound, right? And I guess it was a kid that was shot in the head. So we, take the Reeves upstairs, and the cops are like, "Yeah, he's behind this door, but we can't get it open." And they're just standing there, and we're like, "Break the door down." And they're like, "Oh, yeah, but he's right on the other side of the door."
Not.
And then we're like,
that was.
"Break it down, push it open."
Yeah,
So,
I just remember
yeah.
the crazy thing with that one was they had a stage for it, and then we were staging like around the block for it, like 10 seconds away, and fire was staging in quarters, which truth be told was not that close to this call. So we were on scene on our own probably for like 5 minutes, but it felt like it was 20. And then
Yeah.
I like snuck into the room, and I was just like, we had like nothing with us. We had like a Reeves and like that shitty little head bag that Mohawk carries.
We got in the
where
room
it's, like,
by
got
the
your
time the
basic-
fire department was there, and
Yeah.
we all went in, and like he had shot himself in the head, and like there's like obviously blood, skull fragments, and like brain matter everywhere. But he was still awake, and he was like, "Ow, my fucking head," or whatever.
There's no.
He
Wasn't he?
wasn't speaking like intelligibly. I think he kept
No,
yelling like
he was
either
just like
like get
groaning.
off of me or like he said that like saying get me up or something. You couldn't make
No,
out
he
what
was saying he was complaining about how much his head hurt.
I can
Yeah, but
imagine.
but his
Sure.
speech was ridiculously slurred. Like you couldn't understand. Like his
Yeah.
motor functions just looked all fucked up. He had no control of what he was doing. His arms, like you could tell he was trying to be combative, but he didn't really have control over himself. It was a weird fucking call.
Yeah, so I guess
Sorry,
this
Keith,
guy
I'll
was
let you
like,
go back.
himself, or somebody shoot him?
no,
No,
so I
he-
guess
he
this guy
shot
was like,
himself, yeah.
he was at a party and someone who like had a gun, a revolver, and they're like, "Oh, I bet you won't play Russian roulette." And he's like, "Yeah, I will." He fucking loads the gun and plays Russian roulette and shoots himself in the head. He lost.
Jesus
He
Christ.
lost.
Yeah, it was a. I remember it was a 357. It was not a small round either.
And then so
it,
whatever, we take him to the hospital, and then Allie Mac sees him fucking later at a bar.
Yeah, I'll tell that part. I'm out at a bar in my hometown, and this guy walks in, and I can't quite place like he just looks familiar. I'm out there. I'm on one of the first dates with my current girlfriend, um, and I just like I can't place it. I'm wondering like how do I know this guy? Like, do I know him from high school? He looks like he's a couple years younger than me. Can't really figure it out. He showed up with two of his homeboys, and he turns his head, and I just see this huge scar down the side of his head. It just clicked. I'm like, holy fuck, that's Big Dink, which was the nickname that me and fucking Gacy picked out for him at the end of the call. That was our way of getting over the stress of that. I remember I would always get like all sappy and like sad after calls like that, where I'd be like, oh man, what the fuck? Casey would be
Yeah.
like, wow, he's such a shitty shot, he couldn't even kill himself.
Because it's like just
It
the
was like-
culture to deal with this stuff with like dark humor, right?
That's how we. That's
And
how
it
we
was.
Came up with
It was.
yeah.
It was
I
the best
remember-
way to process it in the short term for sure.
I
just
remember the
remember,
first time, or the second cardiac arrest I had, was an infant that died from SIDS, which is sudden infant death syndrome, and it was me and I'll name drop Anton, and you know, we did CPR on this baby. It was very like traumatic because the whole fucking family was there, and the firefighters were freaking out. And so we were driving around after the call, and I was like, "Oh fuck!" Like my phone's dead, and Anton just goes, "Not deader than that baby was."
Oh my
Oh my god.
Like, and then like that moment, I realized like we're using dark humor to like get over this shit.
Casey,
You
you
got her.
probably had the best line ever. We had a pregnant woman that was shot and killed, and I was like, we're cleaning the hospital, and I was like, oh man, that was fucked up. And Casey's like, yeah, it must be double XP weekend.
Oh my
It's like that.
Yo.
And like it couldn't. Like I was devastated in the moment. I was like just trying to process and like pick
Yeah,
myself together. I'm like,
Because you
That's
have
getting
to-
like pieces of bone out of my
if
shoes.
you're
and
like,
just was
yeah,
double,
if you're
and I
with
was
like
crying
somebody who's
laughing.
never, if you're with somebody that's like new to the shit and has never seen this, you have to be like the, you know, the strong one.
For sure.
Yeah. I would say like it
that's-
was weird. It's like I think because at that point for that call I had been in for a while. That was actually towards the end of my Mohawk ship. I remember I would always be like there would be like a half-hour period of like what the fuck, and you were always so good at getting me out of that, just getting me out of that headspace of like, dude, you didn't get shot. What the fuck are you worried about?
Yeah.
Like
I remember
you
after that big ding
kinda
call,
need
right?
that.
I was like,
you need that.
I was like cleaning the Reeves without gloves on.
It was
And
like
I
two
like
calls
touched the brain
afterwards.
matter and I like threw it aside. I'm like, fuck, I just touched the fucking brain.
Yeah, you tried to get a Reeves back like an hour and a half later. We went there for a transport. And
Yeah.
you tried to pick the Reeves up, and they didn't clean it. They put
Like,
it in the
there's like
fucking
families
pile.
there,
like,
and I'm like going
you're
in.
gonna
I'm
pick
looking,
it back up.
hey, I kind of need my Reeves back.
You feel like a toddler going in. Like I always hated getting like like the equipment that was still there and being like, guys, I kind of need this back. And they're like, it always feels like you're going you're a fucking kid that pissed the bed, and then like you have to go in and like tell your dad or your mom that you need like something, and like that's how it always felt to talk to the doctors to get your shit back. I was like, sorry, I pissed the bed. Can you please give me new sheets? Like
My
it was
stomach hurt.
my stomach hurt.
Tyler, I think you have to tell us a little about Bravo Unknown Medical.
Yeah, fucking Shane was there. I think
Yeah.
they covered that like the last episode, right? You said like you
It
slightly
didn't come out
covered
yet,
that.
but I said you would tell the whole story.
Yeah. So basically, I'll start off from the beginning. I was with a relatively new partner who became a very good friend of mine, who's still a good friend of mine. He's actually going to be in my my wedding. He's one of my groomsmen. But like
Big paramedic now. Yeah.
yeah, like I love the kid to death. I'm so happy for him. Like he's doing good things out in the world now. But this was like the first like I think like crazy call that he was ever on. So first off, no information on this call. It's a Bravo unknown medical, and that's just how we've been describing like this call for years now. Like if you just say the word Bravo unknown medical, everyone in this group knows exactly what call that was.
In our group chat, your partner's nickname is
Yeah.
still that to this day.
It's
to my
still
knowledge.
Bravo unknown medical. So
Yeah.
we get there, and like it seemed off when you got there, you know, that type of thing. And like, so I was like, there's something weird going on here. And there's two women standing out on the porch. And I'm like, hey, are you the guys that called 911? They're like, yeah. And I go, what'd you call 911 for? Like, what's going on? This is before fire got on scene. This is before anybody got on scene. Like, this is just us. And then like the people, I shit you not, like at the front door go, yeah, we heard murder noises downstairs. And I go, what the fuck is a murder noise? And they're like, I heard murder noises downstairs, and I'm like, okay. So my partner being brand new, he tries to like go in and open the door, and I grab him by his collar, and I'm like, no, we're gonna wait for PD to get here. And he's like, oh, okay. I'm like, let's get back to the rig. And I'm like, let's just start getting a BVM out and a couple other things. Cause I'm like, I guarantee you this is going to be a bad scene. So like we get there, like we're waiting, we're getting all the stuff set up, and I just see the lights coming down the street, and I see other lights coming down the street because like I called in like to the cops. I'm like, hey, we might have a situation. There might be like a weapon on scene or like whatever, because I didn't know anything that was going on inside the house, but I knew something bad happened in there. So the cops kick in the door like with guns drawn and shit because you know they don't know what's going on. And then the biggest cop in the city, I just hear him go, "Oh fuck." And I'm like, if this guy said "oh fuck," I'm like, there's some shit going on. And then I just see him, and then my partner like and I kind of like semi wandered into the house, like barely into it. And this was during COVID, so you know we had those big ass respirators, right? Like the fucking like ones with the
Yeah,
fucking
the pink little
the pink
discs.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
So
Farley.
yeah, fucking motherfucker got fired for not wearing it, but whatever. So we my partner pulls off his mask. He goes, "You guys smell gas?" And then like fucking I just see the biggest cop in the city who's like 6'3", like muscle bound out of like the sky. Like this dude could like bend rifles in his arms. And I'm like and I see him pick something up and then start sprinting out, and I just see blood all over. Like it looked like, you know, an actual horror movie scene. And then I just see him plop the person down on the porch, and he turns to me. He goes, "Do something." I look down, and I like the lady was stabbed. They said something like 87 times or something, and the knife was still sticking out of her face. Like when we
Yeah,
got,
I remember you said it was 26. It was
it was yeah,
26.
like
There
it
was
was
just
like
still a remarkable
yeah,
amount.
it was
of
a
fucking
remarkable amount of
More
stabs.
than once.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it was like definitely like we're like this person was like trying to brutalize this person, and like the knife was still sticking out of the face, like it was like in like the cheek area, I think. And it was like a fish fillet knife, like you ever see like the ones with the weird like prongs at the end, like they're kind of like serrated and they have like the two prongs at the end. I don't know
Yeah,
if I'm
cheese
describing
knife
it
like
right.
that.
Yeah. So like it was
That's a neat
still in
knife.
there.
It's a
Yeah.
buck, yeah.
Yeah, and so I have him, and he's kind of doing like the freeze type thing, and I kind of like got him back into it. I'm like, hey, start doing the BVM. I'll start compressions, whatever. Like it's probably an obvious death, but I'm just gonna like there was no pulse, there was no breathing or anything. So I started that, and then another fire crew that wasn't even supposed to be on this call show up, and it's Captain a captain with a mustache, one of my favorite people, comes up
Oh, that
and he
that
looks.
narrows it down.
Yeah, he looks down and he just goes, "Well, that's something you don't see every day." And then like he's like, "All right, we got to start doing this stuff. We get like you get a backboard out, and we're like, should we call it on scene?" And then another crew comes on, which is it was their like area, the city, and they're
Yeah,
like,
they
"No,
were
we're
the
transporting."
ALS guys showed up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the ALS guys show up and like, "No, we're transporting." And I'm like, "We're transporting this?" And it's just chaos. There's like then like the cops calling like the SWAT team and like a whole bunch of other shit, and like I didn't like I we got off scene pretty quickly after that. Like once the fire got there and stuff, we got to the hospital. They pronounced it, but like it was just fucking chaos on that scene, and like this lady got brutalized, and I was like, wow, like this is fucking crazy. But like I like it was crazy, and like I kind of had to like compartmentalize that shit, but you know, I talked to my partner, like he was having a rough time, and what's the best gift you can give someone a rough time in EMS? You just give them a
Don't you
cigarette and
fucking
put it.
Blowjob.
start.
You put a cigarette in their mouth and you light it and you're like, hey, smoke up because that's something that you want there. And
And then you
this is
hear the
what
phone ring, ring.
Well, you left
Yeah,
the
I
best
thought you were
part
gonna
out.
say I was gonna say what's the best gift you could give? A fucking
A
transport from
transport.
Allie Mac.
glorify Allie Mac.
Yeah.
I'll,
I know
I'll
you
clear
guys
my
just got
name
off that
after you're done
call,
telling
but
this story.
Well, you left the best part out.
Because
The guy was still there.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
yeah. So I was gonna get to that later. So the information that we got was when I before I said I'm calling PD, the guy was waiting by the door to stab us coming in. Like shit. Like my partner was gonna get a nice knife to the face if we walked in there. So pulling him back and pulling us back kind of saved the both of us because I'm like I don't know what the fuck that guy would have done to both of us, but like like just having that like weird like intuition like something's fucky going on here saved the both of us. But him hearing the words cop like we're calling the police like made him dip out of the house. But like the reason why the house smelled like gas, getting back to that, is the guy apparently ripped off the radiator and was trying to blow up the house. And like I'm like, what the fuck is going on, man? Like this is like I think 20, 21 when that was going on. Like it was like I'm like, oh my god. I'm
yeah,
21
that's
years
gotta
old
be it.
dealing with this shit. Like I'm like most 21-year-olds are in college or going to bars and shit, and I'm dealing with this. Like this is just like a thing that I have to deal with type shit.
Now,
And
what way would you rather spend a Saturday night?
exactly. Like that's the best way to do it. But like that's one of the craziest like calls that I've been on, and like like trying to remember that like the weird things that your brain does to kind of like deal with like the shit that you go through. Whenever I like get like I go to that call in my memories, like the patient is literally TV static in my memories. Like I can't see what the patient looked like. I just see like TV static with a knife like sticking out of it. It's real weird. Like it's one of those things. And then like we get back to the station, and we kind of got taken out of the rotation for a little bit. My partner was covered, like soaked in blood, so he took a shower. And
Because
I'm
he
like,
wasn't a
dude,
driver yet, right? So he
yeah,
had to
he
be in the
wasn't a
back of the
driver.
transport. Yeah.
Yeah, so he was soaked in blood, like soaked. And he took a shower, and while he took a shower, Allie Mac gave me a call. Basically said that you were coming down, Shane, to talk to us. And
Yeah, that and you guys left the radio on scene.
yeah, it's
Yeah, I need to clear
You
my
forgot
name
the
after you're
fire
done telling
radio
your
on
story
scene.
because I've gotten thrown under the bus for this call a lot, and I need to give my take of events. Because truth be told, in my EMS career, even though it wasn't in the field, this is probably the call that stressed me out the very
But let me
most,
just
even
say
as
the
being in that
radio.
basement.
When I got the radio and I picked it up, with my raw hand. It was absolutely
Soaked.
soaked in blood.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. That's fucking
Yeah, it
wild.
was like it was just there was blood. Like you couldn't like I was getting like blood out of my shirt and my shoes like after that like when I got home like fucking you know like like it took me I threw out those pants and that shirt because it just wasn't coming out type shit. And then I remember like the one thing I do have to give the company after this is that they said that they gave me the option of not going into work the next day, and I took them up on that, just kind of being like, they're like, hey, listen, you don't need to come into work tomorrow. Like he goes like they're like take your time, like come back on like whatever day it was. It was like I think it was Saturday, so like come back on Monday
Yeah, it should have been.
or Tuesday. And I'm like, all right, I'll take that. And then my partner did too. And I actually like called my partner during that time, and I'm like, listen, man, I think that you got the gall to do this, but I also like told him I'm like, listen, like, and like I told him like straight up, I'm like, if this is too much for you, there's no shame in not doing this anymore. But I'm like, I personally believe that you have like the stones to do this type thing.
Yeah, and
And
he's someone that was in the military too, right?
yeah, he was
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
Marines.
Yep.
But like he was pretty broken up about it, and I'm like, listen, bro, if this is like if this is too much, like there's no shame in calling it quits, but I believe that you got it. And he's like, I appreciate you like telling me that you think I got it in me, and I'm like, yeah, man, I really do. I'm the type of guy that if I didn't think that you had it in you, I'd tell you. I'd be like, I don't know if this is for you. But he took that day off, and then he came back the next shift with me, and he's like, I think I'm gonna do this. Like this is what I'm gonna do. And I'm like, all right, good man. But like that's just
And
it was one of those
he's a
things.
fucking kick-ass medic now too.
Oh yeah,
He's
he's
really fucking good.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
But like I think that like that whole thing like me I that the important part about that is like you have a newer partner that goes through something like that, like giving them that phone call and like kind of giving them that pep talk, but also saying it's okay to like not do it anymore is like an important thing to do. Being like this job isn't for everybody, but also like if you believe the kid can do it, you're like, listen, kid, like I believe you can do this, but if you don't think you can anymore, like that's a perfectly fine like thing to do. Like there's no shame in like dipping out of this. Like I still think there's no shame in dipping out at any point. Like you did your work type thing, you know? Like just
We
like
had
even
like a
field.
we had like a 3-hour Westgate diner breakfast after that. I remember that was
Yeah.
just a tremendously fucked night. And I remember just from my perspective, I remember that call got dispatched and the fire department sent the wrong people to it. They didn't send the right apparatus to it. And I knew just by placing it and sending you guys on it that something was off. So I already started making phone calls, but as I was making that phone call, I think it was your partner who got on our portable and said, "We're backing out, send PD." And that was the only transmission I ever got from you guys because at that point you managed. Well, I'm not trying to sound like a dick here, but like your portable for us got lost, and then
Yep.
your other portable got switched to a different channel that I couldn't hear, and neither was the city. They weren't monitoring it either because it wasn't an active channel at that point. So we didn't hear anything else. We just heard send
Oh,
PD.
that's right.
There's blood on
Because
the port.
I got bitched at the hospital because I was trying to notify like the fire apparatus that was coming, like what was going on, and like nobody was fucking responding. And I'm like,
No.
why is nobody responding to me? But apparently, like after the fact, I found out that I was on like the wrong channel, and it's just like it in the heat of the moment, you can kind of like get lost. Like, and I guarantee all of you guys know, like in the heat of the moment, like you're not checking what channel your radio's on. Like that's the
Right.
farthest thing from your mind.
Well, I was on the
Definitely.
phone with their dispatcher pretty much as soon as you got there, and I'm like, "Hey, you guys fucked something up. You don't have the right trucks going to this." And it was a new dispatcher. That's why that fuck up happened. And essentially, they were coming back at me with like, "Okay, Mohawk, it's a fucking Bravo. Like, why are we? I'm like, look, I'm just saying. Like, they said there's blood on the porch. Something's not right. They're backing out. I need PD there, and also like, you guys didn't send the right people to this. All the fire that showed up to your scene, they dispatched themselves. That was just them knowing, like, they fucked this up. That address is in our territory. We're fucking going. Because they just called arriving. They never called en route to it. They just showed up there, which was
which
which is
they
good on
saved
their
our
part.
ass. Yeah, they
Yeah,
saved.
because I was bitching at them to make that happen, and they weren't hearing it. They don't give a fuck what we have to tell them. Like, those dispatchers, I'm not saying that, like, because they're the ones actually taking the 911 calls. We're Make-A-Wish dispatchers in there, but like it was like, it's like, but at that point, like, I was still like, I know something's not right here. I'm trying to fix it. I remember I told my partner that was in the booth with me, I'm like, you got to handle the phone lines for a minute. I got to sort this out. Something's not going right. And it was just, it just wasn't right. And then I remember I got thrown under the bus for, like, yeah, you tried to get us fucking killed. It's like, no, I did everything I could, but there's nothing I could do.
I do appreciate the fact, though, that, like, you could tell just by the tone of my voice that, like, I kind of had, like, an even keeled, like, tone on the radio, and you could hear me being like, yo, something's fucked. Like, there's a different, like, change in my voice there, you know?
Is somebody sleeping?
I think we might have lost Kyle.
Kyle done? Kyle!
Hello?
Are you alive?
Oh, shit. I heard the...
Don't tell me you're sleeping.
Oh, my God.
Oh, no way. Yo!
Unreal.
All right, I don't feel bad anymore about poaching this podcast.
Casey, you're not poaching the podcast.
This is fucking awesome.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yo. Dude, whatever this
One
is,
Bud
this
Light
has to
too
stay
many.
in.
I was wondering, I was
in.
like,
You can't make this shit up.
You
He was
can't
pretty
make this shit.
engaging for the entire podcast until this story. I think we lost
All right,
him.
we're just gonna promote our podcast for the rest of the time here. Listen to Untitled
So
Podcast. If you like, you feel like horse cum, Untitled Podcast.
I think
We got
this is
90 episodes. They're all like 3 hours a piece. Piece of just random nonsense.
Brothers
Just
sleeping.
90
Oh
somehow.
my god.
Tyler,
Yo.
tell us a little bit about Untitled Podcast.
It's a mess. Don't watch it.
Shane, can we give him a phone call or something?
I'm trying.
Unreal. Yeah, one too many Bud Lights. He just... He better upload this. He better fucking upload this.
Oh my god, this is just really funny. Like,
You don't answer.
I think he's sleeping.
Unreal.
No, he really is.
That's fucking insane. What?
And I can't stop the recording. So
All right. So Shane, let me ask you, where were you on 9/11, and do you believe in ghosts?
What a follow-up question. What the fuck?
That's an
I was
insane topic.
I was in like 3rd grade.
Shane, I
And
know you're
I-
the producer. We're just gonna have to ignore his snoring. You're the star of the show now. We gotta keep it going. We gotta
This
adapt
is
and overcome here.
unbelievable.
This might be
He's
the best
fucking uploading
episode.
this. He has to. He can't live this down.
This is
I
what
can't
every
believe you're-
episode is like on the Untitled Podcast.
It
I
sounds like
actually
gotta
think this might be like I don't know if this is gonna get like uploaded, but this is definitely going into like the bloopers reel if you ever have one. Like this is.
I mean, it was a
I-
good story.
I
It
am-
wasn't.
Shane,
It's
let me
just
ask you. Let me ask you: is it okay if I use this material on our podcast?
Are you recording?
Oh, I'm not recording. No,
Then it doesn't matter. You can't even do it, dude.
I can
This
after
is
you
awesome.
publish it.
Casey wanted to take the recording of this and upload it to our podcast, and me and Tyler were trying to tell him, no, that's ridiculous. Kyle was on our podcast last night. We're on his tonight. We're playing by his rule. That's what a collab is. He comes over
is
here,
good
we go
material.
over there. Yeah, it's good material. It's not our fucking material, Casey. Jesus Christ.
This
Yeah,
is
he's
great.
slumped. He's slumped.
is
He's not picking up anything.
Insane.
Oh my
This is
god.
insane. Oh my god. But we'll talk
Yeah,
to
this feels
Shane
like a-
here.
This
So
feels
we're
like a
gonna
Mohawk
edit.
ship.
Yeah. So Shane, from your side of that that story, like, when did you come into that? Like, when did you kind of get like the vibe of what was going on there? I'm sorry, that's really funny. Like,
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you over the snoring.
Can we turn Kyle down?
No, he's got the admin power.
Unreal.
Oh my god.
I'll tell you what.
How does this happen?
He talked about my fucking snoring. You can hear it live right here.
This is live snoring, live sleepy Kyle cam. Oh my god!
It just has to be like an 8-hour podcast where just we all dip
just
out,
dead silence,
and it's just his snoring, and he still goes for it.
What? I just want to hear his wake up.
Wait, what if we all shut up for a minute? Do you think the silence will wake him up?
Maybe let's try. I think he's dead.
Where's the snoring now?
I think he's gone.
Did he mute
it's just
himself?
Sleep apnea.
Well, guys, we've gone and done it now.
I was talking the whole time.
Kyle,
you were talking the whole time, bro. You were snoring.
You were snoring.
Dude, Scott, you were snoring, man.
There ain't no fucking way.
You were snoring for the last 15 minutes.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, I'm crying.
Listen, I woke up. Listen, these fucks kept me up all night. All right.
Oh, it's our fault. You're right.
I woke up 2:30 this morning to go to work. You know, here I am. Damn near.
We have to edit 20 minutes of video out of here.
How was there anything?
You
good?
better leave that shit in.
Was I actually?
Was there anything
snoring?
good?
Don't
Yeah,
edit
you
any of that out.
You were legitimately snoring, full on. You could hear it.
Oh my god!
Sleep,
I thought I
sleep
heard
apnea into the
glimpses of
mic.
When we were finishing up with the story, I heard glimpses of what I thought was a snore, but I
Yeah,
didn't want to address it. I was like, no.
Yeah, I just finished up the Bravo Unknown Medical story, and then just kind of out of nowhere, we're just like, wait, is that actually snoring?
which apparently put you to sleep.
Yeah, it's a real soothing story.
It's not you. It's not you.
She was only stabbed 28 times.
Well, Untitled Crew, we've done it this time. We were a guest on a podcast, and we fucking put the host to sleep.
I'm gonna sleep good
Jesus
tonight.
Christ.
You ever just one of them times where you're just driving on an LDT? Yeah, just if I could just close my eyes for 10 seconds.
I used
No,
to
let's
rest
us Kyle really fucking wrap this up. So, is it okay if I use this content on our podcast?
Don't use dude. Shut up.
What
Kyle, he wants you to send him the recording so he can upload it to our podcast channel. And
Because
me and
he's
Tyler
insane.
We've been trying to explain to him that that's not how it works.
Wait,
you
you
collabed with us, we collabed with you.
I don't know how that.
Yeah, exactly. I got one
All right,
last.
I guess I'm in the wrong
Here.
here.
I don't understand, Casey. Where why wouldn't we just me and Shane come on your podcast?
Yeah, that makes more sense.
That'd be cool. Yeah, it should be on our
I think
podcast.
I think he wants you snoring.
I gotta
Yeah,
look
no,
at the
you should
talk
be on our
stand, like
podcast, and I'll
85.
set up a bed you can sleep in.
I think I got one more funny story that involves Allie Mac and the building next to Central catching on fire.
Stay awake.
I don't know if you guys ever.
I
don't know if you guys
fall asleep. You fall asleep for one story.
You fall asleep one time and you're the bad guy.
I'm sorry. I set up
17 on the air immediately.
Oh, don't say that. Shane's gonna destroy a phone. Jesus Christ.
You destroy one phone and you're the bad guy.
One.
What? Well, you know.
Oh my god.
We had a
Tyler broke his
fucking
fair
running
share.
tab at Staples and WB Mason because Shane kept destroying fucking phones.
The same
Hey,
shit
we're in the
happened
same
with
boat.
Tyler. Yeah,
I
We're in
Tyler
the
did
same
the
boat,
same
Shane.
shit.
I have a
Yo,
bad
do you
time.
remember the supervisor that didn't do any work and just was like every
Which
day,
one?
like, I'm going to Lowe's.
Yeah, you're not narrowing it down.
Oh, no, I know this one.
I'm going to Lowe's today.
I've
Like,
been
I'm
running
not
my
doing any
ass off.
golf today. I'm going to Lowe's. and
I've been
fixing
running
up the
my ass
station.
off in fucking Schenectady. I'd be like, where the fuck is it? Like the other crew. Well, they had to run to Lowe's. Are you shitting me?
Oh fuck.
So, just a quick story here, and Allie Mac's involved, and I think it's just a funny story. So I was on LDT, and apparently the building next to Central just literally caught on fire.
There's no way I was loud.
No,
It was loud. It really was.
For how long?
Like 20, 15 minutes.
There's no way. Jesus.
We
At
shit you
least.
not, dude.
Minimum.
Listen to the
minimum
recording
10.
afterwards.
All I
Minimum
said was
of
I'm
10.
gonna close my eyes for 2 minutes.
I used to do that driving the ambulance on LDTs. Like you hit the rumble strips. Like, oh, okay, that was good. That was
Oh,
good.
fuck.
We're alive.
So one time, me and Mayan, I was a brand new driver, right? And like I go to we go to Quail Street or whatever, and they're like, yeah, you're gonna go on an LDT, and it's like snowing outside. You're like, you're going on an LDT to Boston or whatever. And I drive all the way out there, and Mayan hits me with Mayan hits
Nah,
me
I'm
with
just fucking with you.
He's like, listen, dude, I'm really sick, man. I really can't drive back. Like, but if you need it, here's this Red Bull. I didn't drink it. It's in the middle, like, you know, whatever. I'm like, okay. So I'm like driving back, and he's snoring, just loud as fuck. The radio didn't work in the ambulance, so I'm like just by myself, like, this fucking sucks. So I say, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna hit the fucking rumble strip. I hit the rumble strip till he woke up. He's like, oh, fuck. He's like, bro, drink the Red Bull. Drink the Red Bull. You good? I was like, yeah, no, bro, sorry, man. I just fell asleep. It's all right. We're all good.
How many times have you fallen asleep on like an actual LDT like that?
17.
Yeah, that 7. You gotta count
More than once.
more than once. Like I had a blink and then wake up on the rumble strips moments a few times on an LDT.
Yeah, I'd say I had that like 3 or 4 times.
I'm surprised
Nothing
I
that
didn't
got
run
too
into a
close though.
bridge. All right.
Well, the time I broke the phone, Kyle, on that NICU move, I I fell asleep on the way back at driving 33,
I feel so bad for you for that, but I don't. But I do.
and I definitely fell asleep halfway across the Tappan Zee Bridge. And I
remember
woke up. I was with Atkins, and I was veering towards a tractor trailer. So, well, that scared me awake for the last 10 minutes of the trip.
Yeah.
Yeah, that rumble strip wake up panic mode is just you wake up real fast doing that. I feel
Oh,
like.
yeah. It'll
That's
scare you
it.
awake for a little bit at least.
Yeah, you're like, oh fuck. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm good.
I'm good. That was a good 5-second nap.
Well, that's where I'm at right now. You guys scared me awake.
You need the rumble strips. We gotta hit the rumble
You guys
strips.
hit me with a couple rumble strips. Now I got another 7 more minutes in me. I'm tired, man. I've been fucking. I fucking slept 2.5 hours last night.
Dude, you're good.
Just remember when you were on our podcast, I'm like, how do you do this? You're like cranking out so many episodes so quickly. Like, how do you do it? I think we got our answer now. You're running the truck till it fucking runs out of gas.
I get you guys on a rant and then I fall asleep.
They got content.
You're a
They got
real
content
gaslighter,
on
you know that?
autopilot for a couple minutes.
Fucking gaslight the whole podcast.
Oh my god.
Put the podcast on cruise control for 10 minutes.
At least mute your mic.
Normally, when I take a quick snooze, I'm muted. Apparently that time I forgot.
That's fucking great.
Oh my god, that's great. This is the content people signed up for, right?
I know, right? Listen to a fucking Untitled podcast.
No,
So,
don't listen to Untitled Podcast. This
No,
is
please
hysterical.
go listen to Untitled Podcast. Yeah,
This
they're
isn't
good
the
guys.
content you want.
Shane-
It's the content you need.
Kyle and Shane, what conspiracies do you believe in?
Oh, what ones don't I believe in?
He was
Oh,
talking
that's
to me.
a
I don't
big
think
What's like
question.
your-
Shane's
What's
not a
like your big
conspiracy guy.
conspiracy?
I think Kurt Cobain was murdered.
I think Kurt Cobain
Oh,
was
me
murdered
too.
as well.
I agree with
Amen.
that. I agree with that.
Yeah, there's no disagreements here.
Like
Absolutely not.
there's a lot of sketchy shit that happened with that whole thing. I still think Kennedy was assassinated by the CIA. It's pretty much been proven.
Well,
Oh,
that's
for sure.
absolutely been proven. Yeah, but then there was patsies involved.
Yep.
we
MLK
talked
was
about
the
that on your
FBI.
podcast.
Yep.
You think that MLK was the FBI, or you think he was CIA too?
No, he was definitely
there's-
the FBI.
I think it was
There's
it was the FBI. I think.
There's like irrefutable evidence. Like they realized that their story, because all the eyewitness reports when MLK got whacked, they all fucking said like, oh yeah, the shooter was in this window, even though all the eyewitnesses were like, nah, there was definitely shots coming from that bush, like right underneath the balcony he popped out on. They're like, no, we assure you, he was in.
And
that
also,
window.
like, the angle that the guy would have to be standing at is like fucking insane. Like, you'd have to be like,
Well, not
standing
only
on
that.
a radiator and like, like having his arm like on the window and like in like a weird contorted way. Like, there's no possible like good way that he could have done that type
And
shit.
not
guys,
only that, but there was a fucking elm tree completely obscuring the view. So what did the FBI do the overnight after that murder? All of a
cut it
sudden they
down.
come out, they grab a couple chainsaws, and they cut down all the fucking trees, as inconspicuous as you can imagine. There's just a
Dude,
bunch
the
of tree
FBI
stumps.
says
Like,
that
"See, they
the
coulda
fucking
did it."
drones over New York, New Jersey are not a threat, which are now over New York.
You know what that means?
They are
It's
a
the
threat.
government. It's the government.
Yeah, I
They
really
own
think
them.
that's the U.S. I think that's the U.S. drones. That's
Like,
why
who
they're
put
saying
them
that.
there?
Because
The
every other like Russia and Ukraine, they're all deploying these drones right now. The U.S. hasn't had the chance to do them. This is sort of like they're testing the waters. Like, we got to catch up because this is the future of warfare. You go on YouTube, all the clips are of fucking Ukrainian and Russian drones. That's all warfare is now. You're just hoping you don't get fucking blown up by essentially a kamikaze drone.
Yes, the government's not going to let drones fly around. Remember the hot air balloon or whatever that was, the weather balloon?
The one with
They
the
shot
kid
out of the
inside it,
sky.
but that
Well,
it
they
wasn't
let a
the
few
kid.
of
not-
those.
no, not
they
that
let
one.
a few of those through before they finally took one out, and not to mention they lost an entire missile.
Like, just
Yeah.
like gone, like it just disappeared.
So they fired a missile and they have no idea where it went. They fired a missile at the weather balloon, and they have no idea where it went.
It's probably in some backyard in Kentucky.
You know what?
They probably-
They just didn't
you know
notice
what,
yet.
Here's a conspiracy theory.
Fucking
right,
Joe Dirt
that I got going here that I
with the
heard.
poop missile.
And I've been kind of like getting after. You remember when the wildfires happened there up in Canada and everything was orange?
Oh yeah.
So I was living in the Finger Lakes when that happened. So we were extra orange, right?
Like
But-
Donald Trump orange or
The way oranger. No, like
Snooki
and-
orange.
And you couldn't
We're
even
Snooki
breathe.
Snooki
orange. Spray
And
tan.
you're like outside, you couldn't even breathe. So there was a shipment of like a toxic chemical that got lost just prior to when that happened, and like nobody really knows about it. And then all of a sudden, like we have all this smoke and smog, and it's orange. I mean, like when have you ever seen orange? Like fucking doomsday orange color. I think they
That was a
lost
real
this-
shady fucking thing. Yeah.
I think they lost this chemical, this shipment, and whatever the fuck it was, it caught on fire somewhere, and then they covered it up. You know, obviously, like, oh, there was these wildfires going up in Canada. I'm gonna say it's that.
Dude, they were talking about there's like an increase in number of UFO sightings in California this the past few weeks, and so they think the drones are related to the UFOs people have been seeing.
I mean, you see like a group of drones that can be in like any sort of shape. Like, it can be like in like, what was that? The Arizona Lights, I think it was. You guys ever hear of that one?
You're thinking
where
of
it
the brown mountain lights, I think, right?
No, the ones that there's a giant like triangular like group of lights that just floated over the Phoenix lights. And like it just flew over all of Phoenix and then just disappeared. And the governments and everybody else is just like, yeah, that was kind of weird, but nothing happened
It's
there.
fine. You're safe.
Yeah, like you're fine, you're safe type shit.
Well, we can't get too.
Like we have no idea what the fuck is going on, but you're safe.
We can't get too deep, or else I am gonna have to send all this to Casey. Put on your podcast.
Wrong podcast.
Don't get him going. Now he's gonna start getting really deep. Shit.
Yeah, like just getting back to EMS, I'll tell the fire story because Allie Mac thinks this is hysterical.
Am I gonna fall asleep for this one too, or?
Probably.
There's a pretty good chance. Yeah, I would say so.
But like, I was coming back from an LDT, and all of a sudden, I didn't know anything that was going on in Albany at this point. Like, I'm just coming back from an LDT that was coming back from Massachusetts, and I get a thing that said 8, call dispatch immediately, and I'm like, oh, someone fucked up. Hopefully, it's not me this time. And then, so I had my partner put dispatch on speakerphone, and I just get this is the exact message verbatim. Call your insurance company immediately. Your car's fucked, bro. Click. And I'm like, what?
What? Call your insurance provider immediately.
Click. Like,
it's like
immediately.
2:00 in the morning, mind you.
Yeah,
It's
like,
like dead of fucking night.
And I go, what? And then like I texted Allie Mac. I'm like, what the fuck was that about? And he's just like, yeah, the building next to Central's on fire, dude, and your car's like covered in smoke. Like we think your car's on fire.
Wait, it's
and
not
I'm
the
like,
Dollar Cheese shop, is it?
No, it was the other side.
Like the apartment,
the apartment
the
building.
apartment
Oh,
side, yeah.
Thank God. Thank God.
Yeah, but I was just like, what? And like they're like, yeah, and the cameras, it just looks like the entire car's covered in smoke. I can't tell if it's on fire or not. And I'm like, oh my God. So I like picked it up, going back. And then like I didn't get any updates at all. And then I get back into the city and I hear, yeah, 8, we got another transport for you. And I'm like, I'm like, can I please check on my car? And they're like, oh, yeah, your car's fine, but yeah, you can go check on it if you want. And like I went back and my car just had like soot and shit all over it. And I'm like I was like half expecting just to come out to a burnt husk of a car and just be like, well, my car's just gone now. Like I just paid it off at that point too. So I'm like, I own my car. It's great. And then like, it's a burnt husk. I'm like,
I would like to say I was not your dispatcher that night. I was handling the other city. That's why you were texting me, because he told you to call your. I think what the first thing he did was he reached you on the radio and he's like, "Do you have the keys to your car on you, or are your keys in the station?" And you're like, "No." And your partner's were, so we moved your partner's car. And
like,
then as soon as you said no, that's when he called you and was like, "Call your insurance company immediately." You're like, is my car okay? I'm like, I can't really tell. It's blowing up in here, but I'll get back to you in a couple minutes.
I just never got back until we got back to the city of Albany, and like I was like, my car's gone. Like my car's gone. Like it's a total loss at this point. And then like I get back, and then like they're like, oh yeah, you can go check your car. And I went and checked it. I'm like, all right, it's just got a couple scratches and soot on it. And I'm like, but like the like 1 hour to like 30-minute heart attack that I was having on the way back from an LDT was staggering. Like my anxiety level hasn't been higher in a very long time for that like hour-long period.
And then we sent you to Malaysia on another move.
Yeah,
5 o'clock
immediately.
Yeah, it's like, oh, your car's good? All right, good. Are you fueled up? All right. Got one for you. It would be a wheelchair move, but we don't have ATS on, so have fun. We're getting billed $30 for this.
I hated that shit. Did you guys ever have to do like the wheelchair moves that we just didn't have ATS for because we didn't have it at night?
Oh, I set those up all the time.
Fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you,
do that
dude.
shit all the time. Especially
I hated that shit.
They're on a nasal cannula.
Yeah, they make it BLS somehow type shit.
Right.
They're like, yeah, it's BLS. Let's throw them on a nasal cannula. Yeah, that's what we gotta do. But
Patient has
like,
dementia. There you go.
patient has dementia. Yeah,
That's all I have to write.
Well, the worst is when they'd be like, well, they're on cardiac monitoring. Okay. And you start well, they're not on a cardiac monitor in the room. Well, no, but it's just blood pressure and pulse ox. It's like, so is it cardiac monitoring?
I know.
No, it's cardiac monitoring.
Dude,
They're
I
on
fuck
blood
that up
pressure.
all the
No,
time
no,
because
you idiot. It's
like I
SpO2.
have fucking 6 patients at a time. And I'm like,
Casey, you
is
think
this
if you
fucking
mark
patient
it
on
off,
the cardiac monitoring?
you think if you mark it off not ALS, you mark it off ACLS, and we need an ACLS ambulance, that all of a sudden they show up quicker. You know, I get it.
Yeah. Well, the doctor does that.
Let me give you a little tidbit here. It's a lot faster to get a BLS ambulance than an ALS ambulance.
I know
But they
that,
don't
but
know
the
that.
doctor does
They
that.
don't know that.
The
Well,
doctor
The
maybe
nurse
doesn't
is
know that.
trying.
Maybe
The
you
nurse
guys-
is
You're
trying
not
to
fooling
tell us
me.
shit.
Because they have like
Casey,
one
you're not
ALS
fooling me.
ambulance
It's a check
now.
mark on a PCS sheet. It's not hard. You can't be like, oh, I got 6 patients. I forgot to put the check mark down. No.
No, the doctor decides whether it's BLS or ALS.
Well, the PCS.
know.
But
literally
can't you
walks
kind of
through
like
it.
give them like, hey, this probably isn't ALS. This is pretty much
I can
BLS.
tell them what I think, but they don't fucking listen to me half the time.
Yeah. The docs tell you that you're useless. We get it, Casey. We get it.
Oh, God, I have work in 5 hours. That's going to
What
be
a
a shame.
fucking dweeb.
What a fucking wash.
What a wash.
Imagine falling asleep on your own podcast.
That's fantastic. That's probably one of the highest quality contents that I've ever heard. Like, I think this is
You
like
gotta leave that in.
It's absolutely gonna stay in. Yeah.
this is next level.
We'll cut at least 10 minutes
phenomenal.
of the snoring.
Like I told a horrific story that I have nightmares about. And I
Let's get you-
Tyler is trauma dumping, just hoping
What's your,
what you can talk about.
It's what I've been begging people to do for so long, and I fucking snort through the whole thing.
like,
Wow,
really,
yeah.
I
He's
actually,
like, nah, he's got the admin controls. We can't mute him. We just gotta listen to it.
like
Shane
I
called you. I called you. No way.
And it's kind of sick because your trauma dumping is calming to us.
Oh, there's
Yeah,
no
I-
way. You guys literally call me. Jesus Christ.
I will say, I said, I was like, if we get dead silent, I think he might wake up, and it wasn't too much longer.
No, he
after
did. He did.
Yeah.
You're like,
What's your
oh,
guys',
fuck.
what's your guys' opinion on the CEO shooter?
Oh, Christ's sake, Casey, we can't turn this into your fucking podcast.
We are in fucking.
that fucking
We are
guy.
off the rails right now. This is like we are like barreling towards a school of children, just off the rails. Like there's no brakes going right now.
I figured it would be.
Yeah, this is probably the
You knew who you were having on.
Yeah, this is the least professional group that you had on so far.
No, listen. You guys might be unprofessional, but you're not as unprofessional as Coleman and Mark Scholler, all right? Well, actually, no. Well, I am the bastion of professionalism, Kyle. You know that, right?
I love that impression. That's a good one.
We might not be professional, but we are entertaining.
Oh, but,
clearly
you know.
not. You fell asleep on us. We try.
But as I found as tradition on this, the station that we were at was Station 5. Alive at 5. That was our home domain. The Office. But like I listened to what you guys were talking about, like in like the earlier podcasts about like how every station had its own personality, and I totally agree with that aspect of things. Being like, yeah, the every station had its own personality, and like like you had to find your niche and like get into that station, and if you weren't into like a station that fit your niche, you probably weren't gonna last that long there.
Right.
Like when me and Casey and Allie Mac were there, Station 5 was just the fucking
Autism.
straight up
You're just
the
autism.
Yeah, we all had everybody had a certain level of autism to that just kind of vibed with each other.
There was Guitar Hero and Ghost Hunting.
Guitar Hero, Ghost Hunting, you know.
Yeah, Jerry Springer, Eric
Yeah,
on
Jerry
the
Springer. Yeah, yeah, we did that. We hung up hockey jerseys that we were forced to take down. Um, dude, it ended up being almost like a frat house at some point,
As
and
it
then.
should be. As it should be.
But like we had the Miracle on Ice fucking Mike Rizzioni jersey hanging up in the day room there, and I love that thing. And then like we just watch go. It was either Ghost Adventures or Jerry Springer every fucking night there.
Well, who made
Hell
you guys
yeah.
take Ruzioni's jersey down?
It was
Jimmy.
Big Boss.
Jimmy did.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
came in and like
Jimmy.
screamed. He screamed at us
He
because
took
like
the fucking Polaroids down. He took the jersey down. Yeah, he wouldn't put up with any of it.
God
Yeah,
forbid
there
we
was-
had more now.
yeah, there was a fucking there's a time there after that literally nothing could be on the wall, like nothing at all, because he was so pissed that we hung up hockey jerseys. We did that, and then I fucking was it me and you who raced around the station while smoking cigarettes, Allie Mac, or was that someone else?
I mean,
We
that
We had
definitely sounds
stretcher
like
jousting.
Stretcher jousting was fucking hysterical.
That was the day we fucking played football, and then Kazakowicz fucking kicked the ball into the middle of Central Avenue, and it got smoked by like 3 18-wheelers in the ball pop.
I once
Ricky
went to go
10
throw.
speed.
I once went to go throw a pass to Coleman. We were having a big football game out front, and I don't know what happened, but the pass sailed out of my hand, an absolute duck, and I took out one of the security cameras on the station.
Yo, there was one time that fucking somebody threw the football on the fucking balcony of Central, and Dan Delaney got out the biggest ladder he could find and climbed up to the top of the fucking roof of Central Station, trying to get this ball, and the fucking ladder fell out from under him.
Oh
And
god.
he was just hanging on the fucking balcony. I'm like, Dan, get the fuck down. Like, it's not important. Get down.
I think I got it. I think I got it over.
I think I got this football.
Fucking speaking of Central Ave, we have a Minecraft server that we all play on, and I autistically, like with autistic detail, like absolutely to like a fucking like the blocks were exactly like the everything. I built Central Ave. Yeah, I built Central Ave in Minecraft like to a T. Like there was oxygen tanks in the bay. There was, the parking lot. Like I built everything because I have a thing where I obsess.
Yeah, some
over
people
things.
like trains. You like Minecraft.
Yeah, I have when I got like super depressed, like the only two games that I would play is Minecraft and Guitar Hero. Those are my comfort games, I guess. And when I was really sad after I broke up with my long-term girlfriend before I met my fiance, I would sit in my parents' basement, which is a very sad just statement in itself, and then just play PlayStation 2 Guitar Hero and just like cry playing Guitar Hero.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, that was a sad.
Sounds like a good time.
That was a real
built,
sad fucking moment in my life.
You built Central Ave pretty autistically.
It's it's shocking. It's shocking. Fuck.
You guys always made me laugh when I went there. A funny group.
Yeah, the shit that we did we did stupid shit constantly, and it just fucking. It was the people that was there that made it. Like I don't think we could have done half the shit that we did like with different groups of people because it just wouldn't.
Allie Mac, I know you wanted to talk about the Chosen One.
Oh, the Chosen One.
No. Yeah, the fucking code changer. Jesus Christ. Yeah, that fucking asshole. They assigned me a trainee, and I knew at this point because there was really like 3 FTOs that were really training a lot of people in Central, and it was me, Adaji, and Dunham, and those 2 were both burnt out of trainees, so I was getting a bunch of them. I really liked it. I was definitely full-fledged whacker phase at that point. Loved training people. And they gave me this one kid, and the first call I ever went on, actually, it was a rare occurrence where Casey picked up in quail to work with me because I was like, oh, I got a trainee you should pick up. Went on one call with him. Casey showed up late, so me and somebody else.
Oh, you
took the
showed up
call.
late. I went on a call with him. I went on a call with him and Daria.
I think you're getting it backwards. I think it was the other way around.
No, because I came in and they were like, yeah, we have this trainee that's with Allie Mac today. And he's not here yet. He showed up like a half hour late. And I went on the call with Daria.
Well, okay. In all fairness, Shane, I was working 100-hour work weeks. I was doing reverse 24s out of dispatch. I was a corpse walking into the station every day.
Yeah.
But okay, sure.
Tomato.
He's probably gaslighting me, but sure. I showed up a half hour.
No.
And this, no, I'm just kidding. But he seemed okay at first, and then after we went on a couple calls, you could just tell
we did a call with Daria, and she was like being she was being like very hard on him. I was like, Daria, chill out.
She was being Daria.
Yeah. It's his first.
And, I thought he was just like a normal kid at first, and then
dude, he really did. He portrayed himself as so normal, and I was like, oh man, like finally, I get like an easy one. Like,
what was he? An Ewok or what? What was he?
He would just like, dude, he would just go back to the station and be like, we'd get back to the station, and then he would be like, yeah, man, I think one of these days, I think I'm just gonna fucking blow my brains out with a shotgun. And I'm like, but before I do that, I'm gonna slit my wrists and I'm gonna write on the walls in my blood that it was her fault, so she can find me and see that. But like,
he was like, I'm gonna go to my ex's place and just blow my brains out on the front lawn.
Was this the rapper?
Yes, the rapper.
Yes.
Okay.
SoundCloud rapper.
I still have his songs.
Yeah,
he downloads them and he listens to them constantly. Like he actually likes it.
Like one of the songs, yeah. But
I just think it's funny.
I mean, it is. It's fucking hysterical. But this kid was just off his rocker. I remember because Tyler, not much shakes you, and I remember one day. I think I was in dispatch. This was after, because I fucking said after 2 shifts, I was like, "This kid needs to get fired.
Deal with this.
We can't have him here. Like this kid is."
Tell the story about hiding under the bed.
That's what I was gonna say. I was in dispatch, and freaking Tyler. Tyler is like, when's he getting back? Like, I need to know. Just please. I'm like, all right. Well, they're on their way back from the Met. They'll be there in a couple of minutes. He hides under the bed and. Fucking this kid he comes back in the station. He's like, where is everybody? He's Tyler under the bed. He's like, I found you.
And then all I see is this kid's face go under the bed, and like like a horror movie, he just goes, "I found you." And I'm like, "Oh fuck, I'm done. I'm dead."
Tyler, he was talking to you, and he was like, "If I ever lose it, I'm just gonna blow my brains out with my ex."
Yeah, like I got put with him on a fucking LDT from New York City. I didn't say a word to this kid the entire time. Like I kind of ice out people I don't like, and I'm like, okay, whatever. And like I'm just sitting there listening to the radio on the way back from New York City, and then like fucking we get past Westchester on the Northway there and kept going, and he just turns to me and he just goes, "Hey," and I'm like, oh fuck, he's gonna talk to me again, and then he just goes, "Listen, man, this girl I dated, I was in love with her," and I'm like, "That's cool, man. Like that's love is a cool thing, man." And he just turns to me and he goes, "But," and I go, "But what?" He goes, "She broke my heart." And if I swear to God, one day I'm not gonna do it, but if I was to do it, I'd blow my head off on her front yard, and I would tell just so she knew how bad she hurt me. And I'm like, "Bro, what?" And then I'm like, and I go, "That's a concerning thing to say. Like, do you want to like actively talk to somebody?" And he just goes, "No, I'm not thinking about it, but I just thought that you should know that, like, if I was to do that, you know the reasoning why." I'm like, I just met you today. Like, that's not something you tell somebody immediately when you meet them. Like, that's insane.
Dude, I just remember going to Dunham after like 2 shifts with him, and I was like, Dunham, it's like we can't clear him. So then he gets bounced to Dunham because they would give me the autistic trainees, and if they couldn't make it through me, or if like they were just weird, then they give him to Dunham, and if Dunham couldn't get through to him, then they'd give him to Curvin. So he made his way through Dunham, and even Dunham was like, yeah, this kid's fucking crazy. Curvin, take him. Curvin had him, and Curvin somehow managed to get him cleared. I'm sure it wasn't by his choice, but they like kind of got him cleared. And I remember we were playing poker at the station one night. He was paired with
Oh my
someone,
god, the poker
and-
incident.
Oh my God.
and I fucking busted the kid out. I went like all in. I had like a pair of aces or something, and he had nothing. I don't really think he knew how to play poker.
But he
And
kept
I
saying
busted him
how
out
he
of
was the
game.
best poker player of like all time.
He did.
Like,
He did. Yeah, he kept gassing himself out.
He did not talk like he just kept on being like, I am the best at poker in here. None of you guys could beat me. And then I folded out. I'm like, I'm out of this hand. And then Allie Mac came in and fucking put the.
I remember I felt worried too because I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna bust him out of the game. Like I don't like. There's no way he wins this hand. I don't think anybody could have a better hand than me right now. And sure enough, I do bust him out, and everyone's laughing. Yeah, he's there. We're all laughing.
Sure you're there.
Barely.
We're all laughing about the fact I just busted him out of the game. Everybody kind of wanted him out, but like we were being respectful to him. We really weren't being a dick to this kid at all. And as soon as we do that, everybody's laughing. He's like, ha, 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 and he gets up in my ear and he just whispers to me, he goes, I know you fucking said I should have got fired and I got bounced to Curvin because of you. And he kept laughing. And I just remember that
But then,
shit,
do you
like,
remember?
off my face.
But remember
I was
our
so
Order
scared.
66 after that?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had to get him
I wasn't
out.
there for Order 66. That was
No,
you,
I was.
Ethan. Yeah, it was you, Tyler, Ethan.
So
and
we were
I
like,
think
we
Bart
gotta
was
get
there.
this fucking
Yeah.
kid out of here. Like we
Wait
gotta,
till he
like, he's
listens to
gotta
this
go.
podcast.
Yeah, fucking whatever.
Yeah,
Casey didn't want
we're
us
like,
to say this.
you
He was
know,
worried he was gonna listen to
the
it.
union always fucking protects people like this. So we gotta, this is our job to do this. And we're like, we gotta get this kid out of here. So
But
we're
the kid
like,
kept on talking about smoking weed like 24/7 too. That's
yeah.
a preference to this. And like he's like,
Yeah.
I don't know how I passed my drug test. I smoke weed all the time. Like all that
Dude, he
shit.
would
So
gas
we're like,
himself
we're gonna
up
get
when
this
he was so
this
good,
kid
too.
on fucking drug charges, right? And me and Plast are talking to him outside, and we're like, yeah, I smoke a lot of weed. Do you? And he's like, you remember that cardiac arrest we had when we were on orientation? He was like, I was
Yeah, it was
fucked
me,
up for
Casey,
that whole
and-
fucking cardiac arrest.
And he was like stupid on that call too, because I remember like the only job
Yeah.
he had was like cutting the guy's pants, and like that dude got smoked. He got stabbed like 4 times and was dead. But
He was like, I'm
He was
fucking
like-
stoned on that call, and I'm like, okay,
You can't
well,
do that.
he brought that fucking
Yeah.
call up in one of his fucking rap songs too. He was talking about, he's like, Albany Med. I can't even remember. He was shouting out Albany Med in the fucking song.
listen,
Yeah,
weird.
so fucking Pasta reported it, and they started
weird, weird kid
drug
that,
tests on him.
whatever apparently is weird, I guess, and things going on here. There's a bunch of people in this podcast. I don't even know your name, but if you're gonna murder anybody, murder a no good fucking Allie Mac. All right.
Dude, I was already candidate number 1 for it.
Yeah, you're
anyways.
definitely on the list.
Yeah,
You're
I
on his
already-
list.
Yeah, if I get whacked, I did not kill myself. Just look at two of the people. Don't actually, Kyle. Thank God you didn't meet him. I know the other 3 did, but you know who did it. It wasn't me.
Yeah, because this this is like one of the things that I want to talk about a little bit with this though is like there's people that like are like not supposed to be there with you that are like just not even dangerous to you but dangerous to the patients as well. Like
Yeah.
there's one thing of like smoking weed on like your own and like your own time, but like if you're actively high on a scene, that's a problem. I feel like
Yeah, I agree.
there's like you can do like your illicit drugs, but if like you come to work and you're smoking weed in the parking lot, because that's what he would do. He would go to his car and take a dab pen and hit it. Like that's something else, you know.
Tyler, you gotta tell him about the ice story now.
Oh, the ice.
yeah.
This kid fucking
Same kid.
same kid told me to go to the gas station, like just like around the corner from Central, and I'm like, okay. He's like, I need to get some ice. I'm like, bro, we have ice at the station. He just goes, nah, man, like ice, like jewelry, man. Like I gotta get my image up. And he just goes,
No way.
and then we go into this fucking like gas station, and like it's like one of like the gas stations that has like like the shitty like fucking jewelry at it, and I'm like, all right, whatever. And he's just like, yo, this is tight, homie. This is tight, homie.
Who
And
the
I'm
fuck
like,
is this guy? J-Rock?
He's kind of. He's like a chubby J-Rock.
and he
That's
goes,
the
yo,
best
man,
way
this
to
is tight.
describe him.
And he came up to me, and he had, I shit you not, it was a fake gold crucifix with diamonds and like fake diamonds encrusted into it. And he just goes, yo, man, what do you think of this, bro? This is fucking tight, right? And I go, I don't know much about jewelry, bro, but whatever. Then he just goes, yeah, man, this is some ice. I'm coming back after the shift. I'm getting this fucking ice. Yo, did you know I'm a rapper? And I'm like, I do a little bit of freestyle here and there.
Nah, I'm saying.
I do like this.
Nah,
I'm
I'm saying.
Nah, I'm saying.
Look at these two little motherfuckers right here. Little motherfuckers.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, mate.
No, he really was J-Rock. It was kind of fucking crazy, honestly.
Like I thought it was funny, but then like it started getting concerning. Like there's a point where it's funny, and then there's a part where you're like, oh, this guy's actually scary. And then he threatened.
Yep, and they didn't change the codes for him somehow. I don't fucking know. He did get fired. He got like that might be sharing too much.
Yeah, but
that
he did get
might get
fired.
me killed by him. I can't say that.
He did get fired, but like when he got fired, he just ran into this. He ran into the day room at Central and goes, "Welp, guess I got fired. See you later," and then ran out of the station. I'm like, oh my god, he's gonna come back.
Got a blast.
I see him running away like Zoidberg, like whoop, 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 you know?
Oh fuck.
God.
Well, boys, I think we're too.
It's
I
time
wants
to
to go
go.
to bed.
Yeah, I gotta go to bed too.
I've already. Allie Mac's got to work. He's he's a hard working man.
It's my fault. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, it is completely your fault. All right.
You know,
This is
Kyle,
why-
I think you need to get some sleep. Okay, you're very clearly tired. You're running on fumes.
What made you guess that one? I set up the podcast so you guys can just autopilot for 2 hours while I slept.
Well,
This is
that's
why
gonna be
Sean doesn't
easy.
talk to us anymore.
No, he texted me today. He never responded back. He was like,
Yep.
"Oh, hey, sorry, I just ran out to the car. I can't have my phone at work, bro. I'll call you back at some point." I was like, "Oh, man,
fuck.
I was starting to get concerned, you know."
I love Sean. Sean's a great guy.
Gotta love Sobes.
Oh, what a fucking hero. Well,
Well, thanks for having us. Appreciate it.
Well, I think
It's a great time.
You guys got to come back.
We're
you
gonna
guys
have
got.
to.
Yeah, we'll come back. You got to come on ours. Ours is a little more off the cuff.
When's the next
little-
time I can come back on? I can't just show up on the next one because it was
We do every Thursday.
Yeah, I might.
Every
There's no
Thursday?
sense of professionalism. You absolutely could come back.
I might have to just every Thursday that I just call in every now and again. I just
Hell
I have a
yeah.
lot of conspiracies to work through.
Hell yeah.
Well, we're full blown conspiracy, full blown, literally off the cuff anything. It just gets unhinged. We all play characters of ourselves. It's a fucking disgrace of a podcast that no one should listen to.
And for the love of God, if any of you do listen to it, it is all satirical.
It really is all satirical.
Please
It
do
is
not
just,
hate me.
And with that, everybody got to listen to the Untitled podcast. It's fantastic. It's funny. Again, it's called a joke.
Thanks for
laugh
having
at
us
it.
on.
And you guys got any last words or no?
Any
Eat your
wisdom for young
vegetables.
monkeys?
Bro, my
Eat
last
your
words are
vegetables.
so do.
We need to bring back So Do podcast, man.
I'll bring some coffee to the next podcast next time we're on.
Oh, here we go. You fall asleep on one podcast, and all of a sudden you're the answer.
Thanks for having us on. Listen to Untitled Podcast.
Don't
Untitled
listen to
Podcast
Untitled
73 at gmail.com.
You had a bone to pick with me. I had to get you back.